At this time, please welcome the Blue Devils marching band to the field. The band is under the direction of Anthony Case, assisted by Assistant Director Brian Rowland, Percussion Director Richard Case, Drum Tech Brandon Marley, Color Guard Instructor Alex Floyd, and Drum Major Ellen Forrester. They are joined by the LTU Cheer Dance Team, coached by Lauren Allen Bird, and assisted by graduate assistant Elena Morris. At this time, we ask alumni, students, and staff to please stand as the LTU Blue Devils marching band performs the school alma mater, the LTU hymn.
This Lawrence Tech Athletics broadcast is brought to you by Chevy. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers are proud to be the automotive sponsor of LTU Athletics. Chevy drives the Motor City. Henry Ford Sports Medicine treats the whole athlete. To make an appointment, visit henryford.com/athletes. And Michigan First Credit Union. Michigan First offers a full range of financial products and services, including checking accounts, mobile deposits, student loans, and car loans. Visit MichiganFirst.com for details.
It's a Saturday night in early October. There's a chill in the air, and there is no place in the world better to be than a football field. Welcome to the great campus of Lawrence Tech, and a fun matchup between a growing Lawrence Tech team and a very good Concordia ball club. Evan Stockton with you. Grant Perry's along in just a second. John Snow, John Goebel, Liz Cooner, also part of the broadcast team tonight on MyTV20 here in Detroit. Thank goodness we're not getting paid by word, otherwise the price would go down tonight. We got a lot of people on this broadcast tonight. Let's bring in Grant here to start. Grant, as we focus on this Lawrence Tech football team, starting with the offense, look, it's a team that's still getting better and better every week. There's been fluctuation at quarterback and a lot of young guys. It does feel, though, like this team is about to take a step forward tonight.
Yeah, it's going to have to start tonight, especially if they want to go 6-5, like Coach Avant Mitchell said. That's kind of their back end of the season goal. But it starts with complementary football on both sides of the ball. Offensively, the first 15 drives of their 5 games, so you take 3 drives in each game, they've gone 10 punts out of those 15 drives with 2 touchdowns, right? So they got to flip that narrative. And it starts with Alex Osmond. He's going to be the starter today, a freshman out of Dearborn Fordson. He has seen a decent amount of playing time this year due to injury to starter Caleb Garner, number 1. But the statistics speak for themselves. 5 touchdowns, but accompanied with 9 interceptions, throwing for about 800 yards. To take a little bit of stress off him, they're going to hand the ball to C.J. Davidson, their senior workhorse captain for them, and it's just a true leader.
And then when you look at the defense for Lawrence Tech, to be honest with you, it's a similar deal. This defense for Lawrence Tech, they're better than the statistics would look. Same deal here, right? Kind of feels like tonight may be the night where they put it all together.
Yeah, and like you said, it's complementary football. And the offense can sustain drives. It gives the defense a little bit of a rest. But right now, the defense has got to find a way to click, and especially tonight versus Concordia, who's a pass-heavy team. Right now, they're giving up about 580 yards on the season per game. Just under about 300 yards per game passing and about 150 rushing. And they got to find ways to get steals on defense there, get turnovers, and really get the ball back to the offense and let them do the work.
As for Concordia, selfishly, it's going to be a fun program to cover tonight because they're kind of what Lawrence Tech wants to be. Still a young program, but undefeated. Really good team, peaking at the right time. It's kind of surprising because you look up and down their lineup, a lot of young guys, not a lot of seniors, but they're playing really well.
Yeah, they're playing well, and they're playing beyond their years. I mean, just you look at the tape, and they just came off a really impressive win versus Wayne State, a Division II team, and they pulled out the win in a 24-23 fashion. But it's led by Gavin Brooks, who is just a junior quarterback, but has started each year for them, and it just has a total, complete confidence of that offense. And he's throwing for over 1,100 yards, 12 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. I mean, the kid can flat out ball. You'll see it tonight. And if Lawrence Tech doesn't figure it out on defense, he's going to have a field day against that defense. But just to talk a little bit about their defense as well, they got some guys that fly around too, and they're averaging only 16 points against them on the year. So they're playing good defense on that side of the ball as well.
It's a Saturday night in October, and we're at a football field. Thank goodness. Fun one coming up. Lawrence Tech and Concordia from gorgeous Southfield after this.
Because every athlete deserves to be treated like a pro. Henry Ford Sports Medicine.
At Michigan First Mortgage, we believe a home is more than just 4 walls. It's endless possibilities, where relationships are strengthened and next steps are taken. It's a place to call your very own, where you can create new traditions and welcome family with open arms. And at Michigan First, it's at the heart of everything we do. Let us help you discover the possibilities of home.
You might not realize it, but tonight, you made a difference. Tonight, you ordered a little love, hope, and pizza. Because even though you just ordered a pizza for dinner, that one little purchase helps make a big difference. For every pizza purchased in the month of October, Hungry Howie's will make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation, all on our way to raising $5 million. So this time you didn't just order pizza. You ordered a little love, hope, and pizza.
Hungry
Howie's! Chevy Silverado has what it takes to do it all. With a TurboMax engine and a 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Any truck can help you make a living. This one helps you build a life. Chevy Silverado.
Or GM employees with a current eligible lease can get this Silverado for $299 a month. Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com.
Curiosity arrives, lighting a path you tenaciously pursue. The unknown presents new challenges, drawing you to a future ready for change. You'll find your calling is closer than imagined. A destination with all the technology and tools to make magic. Lawrence Technological University. Be curious. Make magic.
At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Leeboy, Sonnebogen, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
Hello, everyone, and welcome into Blue Devils Stadium. I'm Elizabeth Kuhn alongside John Goebel for the homecoming matchup against Concordia. We talked to Coach Mitchell earlier this week, and I asked him if there was any fun activities or events planned for this week, and he said homecoming's fun for everyone else, but it's all business here for us. So, John, does that add any pressure to this team coming in, knowing it's homecoming week, playing under the lights, it's a night game? What pressures does it add?
Yeah, you know, there's always a lot of pageantry that goes on during homecoming. I mean, alumni comes back and visits, potential distractions, but that's what coaches are trying to do during the week. They're minimizing the distractions. The goal is come out with a victory, celebrate after, enjoy homecoming after that.
Absolutely, and 15th ranked Concordia coming into this one. So how do you prepare for a good team like this?
Yeah, you know, I mean, they're only 26 miles apart. Another in-state foe. A lot of these guys played with or against each other in high school, probably recruited by both staffs, you know, so I'm excited to see a little chippiness, but it should be a good one.
Absolutely, we're excited for this battle. Evan, back to you guys.
Guys, thank you. That is the third and fourth member of our crew tonight. We're going to hear from crew member number 5, John Snow, in just a second. I promise. Saturday night, gorgeous one for football, early October in Metro Detroit. Off we go. Concordia and Lawrence Tech is kicked, caught in the end zone, and the Blue Devils will bring it out. They're returning right side with room. There is a flag as this return is coming back across the 30. Lawrence Tech may take it to the house. This is a touchdown, but we have to check that flag. Tyler Garrett took it all the way back, but I don't know if it's going to stand.
It'll be interesting to see what the call is here. I mean, what a great start. You know, if the flag isn't on the field, I mean, this is what you need on your homecoming night. You know, coming into this game, having lost a couple games to start the season against an opponent in Concordia that has, you know, coming off an impressive win. That's how you start a game.
It is on Lawrence Tech, so it doesn't count, but still, John, you can see on that sidelines the life it brings to a sidelines that, frankly, at 1-4 needs a little juice early in this ballgame tonight.
Oh, no, definitely, Evan. You need a jump start like that. If it's not going to be on a kickoff return, it's going to be on your opening drive. But definitely, even though that whole drive was taken back, that sets the table for Alex Osman as he brings the offense back onto the field, because they've had some pretty good opening drives throughout their games this year. So we're hoping for another strong start. That is Lawrence Tech.
Osman is your quarterback. Couple of guys on his right and left in the gun. Guy on his left, C.J. Davidson, 55 carries on the year for LTU, leads the team. They fake it to him to start the game, take a deep shot down the sidelines. Is that caught? You bet it is, with one hand. You're kidding me, Jaden Rembert. Wow.
and make a big play, fella. And the kickoff return got called back. You know what? Take it into your own hands here. And Jaden Rembert does that exactly. Number 0 for this offense. The receiver out here is making big plays. And look at this OBJ-like catch on the sideline. He looks like he got 2 in as well. And now that's how you recoup from a flag on a touchdown on the opening kickoff.
Say it with me, boys. That's good on Sundays. How about that play? There's the juice LTU's looking for. Here's your first run of the ball game for Davidson, running left and gaining some solid yardage. John, as we get ready for this ball game, you can sense amongst the LTU coaching staff, for this offense to take a leap forward and succeed, they got to get some more positive gains on first down.
No, definitely positive games, and it all starts with the running back room. Head coach Yvonne Mitchell has all the high praises in the world for his running backs, and they're averaging good chunk yardage, and starting with C.J. Davidson, almost over 5 yards per carry. So if they can definitely run the football, they have their best chance today, because this is the key against this defense for the Cardinals.
Second down 4. Play action and a throw that's high. Missed Rembert that time, and here we go. Third down on the way for LTU.
Yeah, and just a little bit of an overthrow there. Some pressure there from David Cagle on the Concordia defense. He's a defensive end for them. Got the pressure in the backfield, a little RPO there, and he had the throw there. A good throw on the body of Jaden Rembert would have resulted in a nice, a couple yards there for the Lawrence Tech offense.
Good start to the drive. Does it stall here on a 3rd down and 4? Got to get to the 40.
And they're going to be going cover 0 here. They got a flat line against the offensive line here. They're going to be bringing some pressure here on this one.
They'll give to Davidson, who's going backward. Suffocated behind the line of scrimmage. There's Cagle again, and a very late flag. The play was well over when that flag came out.
And when you step into a game here, you got to come in with cover 0 checks. Concordia just stepped into a flat line, birds on the fence cover 0 look. And when you have those cover 0 looks, you got to get to some pass sets, right? Because the run really isn't there in those situations.
And now, John, would you look at this? A penalty on Concordia, an undefeated ball club where not a lot has gone wrong this year. That's a self-inflicted wound.
That is, especially on 3rd down when you know that you just made a great stop on your defense, forcing a tackle for loss. That was just selfish right there, really, on the side of Concordia, because they're too good of a ball club to be this part of the season and to do something like that this early.
So the LTU drive continues with a little help. Davidson left. Got the edge on the outside. Turned his shoulders and took a huge hit with another flag. Oh, it's getting chippy now.
That was Kelly Matthews on that huge hit. It was definitely going to be a hard hit because Davidson was coming in with some full speed right down that sideline when he was able to cut the corner. And things are definitely getting chippy, especially after the unsportsmanlike.
And a good job there initially by the defensive line of Concordia, right? When you get that inside zone from the running back, you want to make him have to bounce. You got your help on the perimeter. They get it, but then C.J. Davidson gets the corner, and then it gets a little sketchy on the perimeter there. Tempers are high. These teams are within miles of each other. Their schools are. So it's a big night for Lawrence Tech, and Concordia wants to come in here and upset them here. So, you're going to have a little bit of that on homecoming night.
And like John Goebel said, it doesn't take long between these two teams to get to one spot or the other. These are in-state rivals, and if it's not in football, it is every other sport that these two face off.
They ended up picking up the flag, by the way. So it is still LTU first down, but they don't get the extra yards because of the penalty. Osmond fields the snap and gives to Davidson. Running hard early in the ball game, lowering that shoulder again. The offensive ground game, John, early on for LTU, looking pretty good.
Oh, no, it is definitely strong. And when C.J. Davidson puts his foot in the ground and he sees openings, even the slightest bit, he just goes right after it like shot out of a cannon. Nothing is going to bring him down.
John was talking earlier this drive about C.J. Davidson carrying it at over 5 yards per carry this year. Only carried it 11 times last week. Got a handful of carries already on this drive. First and goal for LTU. Osman throwing, incomplete. Wanted Rembert again.
And you're going to see them go back to this throw, right? That was a good completion on the first drive where Jaden Rembert made that unreal one-handed catch. And they're going to have a lot of those looks today because they're playing this cover four. Concordia is playing a cover four press. So essentially it turns into a man coverage look. The safety is responsible for number 2 to his side, and he plays flat-footed. He's got run-first tendencies if he gets run keys. So he's going to have opportunities on the perimeter. But towards the goal line, it's not a high percentage there. I'd like to see him stick to the run game as it's been working so far.
No, definitely, but Coach Stefan Mitchell, he said that if it's going to be a 50-50 ball, he wants Rembert as the guy to bring it in.
Absolutely.
He's got the best hands. He's long and he's lengthy. He knows how to haul it in.
Fake. Over the middle, touchdown. They started the drive with Rembert, and they ended with Jaden Rembert for 6.
Just a really good job there. I mean, they're going to go in RPO here in the red zone, right? The first pass didn't work, the fade to Jaden Rembert, but they come back with the outside zone read. If that inside linebacker reacts to the run action, Alex Osman is told to pull it and then throw it. Right there, great completion on the slant route to Jaden Rembert. And now that's how you start games here if you're Lawrence Tech on homecoming night.
Extra point up and extra point good. We started the broadcast talking about how Lawrence Tech is a football team that feels a lot better than 1-4. John, I know it's early. We're not even 3 minutes in. That was a heck of a first drive.
It is, and we saw a similar drive like this in their first game of the season against Indiana Wesleyan, in which they went down the field, marched, scored, and then they had a quick three and out stop on defense. So we'll see how the defense will respond to this opening drive, because remember how different this time it was around. They took it the whole field, flag brought it back, but they still went down the field once more a second time. So if you're Lawrence Tech, you've got to keep the energy up, because you're again facing an undefeated team, another highly ranked team within your own conference, and also an in-state rival. You've got to keep the energy up all game.
Heck of a start for this crowd that's filed in on a Saturday night. Busy day of college football across our great country. Thanks for joining us, however you do it. Maybe online or maybe on TV 20 here in Detroit. Thanks for spending some time with us. Evan, Grant, John up in the booth. John and Liz down on the sidelines. Yes, there are 5 people talking on this broadcast tonight. I don't think this is a new broadcast land speed record, but it's close. Carter Dixon's the punter, and he also kicks off. It's a short one into no man's land. That is rolling on the turf. Concordia had a couple of bodies around it, and they do fall on it at the 25-yard line. And oh my goodness, we have more flags.
It is almost laundry day out there. There was 3 flags that were thrown almost simultaneously out there.
All right, let's get the call. Grant, obviously you've been in a lot of football games in your career where things escalate quickly. Like our friend Ron Burgundy once said, sometimes they can get out of hand fast. In a setting like this, where we have multiple post-play penalties already, how do you throttle her down and just focus on the ball game?
You got to preach to, it's always the second guy to the party that gets caught, right? It's the first guy that antagonizes, and it's the second guy that gets caught. You have to have the mission of coming in here, getting a win in a fashion that you want to get it in. So you got to avoid those penalties that hurt you, because you can't afford those late in the game.
Concordia starts with a run right side, and there is just not a lot of room to go. They end up with a couple of yards trying that right side of the line. That was Stewart on the carry, but a very nice job, Grant, by that D-line rallying to the football.
Yeah, and that was all because of Dante Burton right there. He set the edge. He got stretched to him, right? If you get stretched to you, you got to keep that outside arm free and make it cut up inside you, and it did. And then Brody Schneider came in with the tackle there for a short gain.
Gavin Brooks, the quarterback, stepping up in a clean pocket. Rolling right, and he'll get out of bounds. He is shy of the first down, but solid gain on second down And it's third down and really short. All right, let's learn about this junior starting quarterback for Concordia, Gavin Brooks. 5'11 junior from down the road in Livonia, went to Churchill High. His younger brother, Bailey, is one of his top targets at the wide receiver spot. There's a lot of Churchill guys on this team for Concordia. Churchill's colors are black and red, so it's very fitting that they went from one team in black and red to another team in black and red. Third down short, they try Stewart left side. Got the corner, got the first down, and he was tripped up by his shoelaces. Crossing the 45-yard line, Concordia moves the sticks.
And you just mentioned it, Bailey Brooks, younger brother to Gavin, the quarterback, number 12, with a really good block there on the perimeter. He's lined up in the slot. He had Chris Broaden across from him. He got a good block and allowed that running back to really get to the perimeter there for that first down.
Concordia's going to go no huddle offense, and Orange Tigers had their favor against teams like this.
Brooks going quickly, throw to his brother, knocked away. Looking for Bailey, and we have another flag after the hard breakup on the play. We have more issues to sort out here. The moral of the story on that play, Grant, brought in with a heck of a breakup. Here's your call unsportsmanlike on Concordia. That's their second different post-play penalty.
Yeah, this one's getting chippy, and you're just going to see the play right here. And you're not going to see with the drop, but Chris Broaden's the star defender in this situation. He's got the flat, does a great job breaking on the ball, getting in that receiver space, and then there's just a little bit of extracurricular activities there, excuse my French, and they've just got to figure it out here on both sides, right? Both of these teams want to get a win today, and this isn't winning football. All these penalties, you understand that the tempers are high, but you got to level it down a little bit if you're on both teams here.
Now, Chris Broaden, he's from right down the street with the Southfield E&T, so he's well familiar with this area, and he loves playing at home, and he's one of the captains this year, and he leads by example, and he definitely led by example on that pass breakup.
Yeah. And Coach Avante had really good things to say about him. He plays that star position in this 4-3-4 defense, and that essentially covers the flat and covers the slot receivers.
It's second down and a long way to go. Brooks setting up a middle screen. Concordia has room on that left side, and then it closes quickly. They get it to the tight end, Logan Hay, who gets some of that yardage back, but still, John, very long way to go for Concordia. Not a lot of plays in the playbook on third down and about 15 yards.
No, definitely. And tall Logan Hay from Humboldt, Texas. It is a big target. Look for them to go to their tight ends. They definitely have some big young guys to go to, especially in short yardage and on third downs.
Got to get to LTU's 32. Gavin Brooks rolling right. He floats it to an open man, and Concordia finding Brooks to Brooks. Gavin to Bailey. It was second and 25. No problems. They're moving the sticks.
And Concordia, you got to compliment the offensive coordinator on that call there. You understand that both of these teams are running cover 4. Where are you weak on the cover 4? In the deep out routes. You get that cornerback to run down the field, and then you get a flat, an out route by number 2, and they convert there on the conversion.
And a nice gash for Brandon Stewart, the former Carlson Marauder, across the 25-yard line. And a jolt to life, John, into this offense for Concordia.
Yeah, and this D-line has got to stay strong. They got to start moving their way forward because they caught that time on their heels. Because if the offense keeps moving fast-paced, no huddle offense, it's going to cause them trouble.
Stewart spinning into the D-line for Lawrence Tech. They stop him shy of the original line of scrimmage. Nice job, Grant, by a couple of LTU guys in there bottling up the play.
Yeah, really good job. And a number that is in the game right now, number 11, is a guy that we didn't know if was going to play. Talking to Coach Avante this week, that number 11 is Michael White. He's just a real force at that defensive tackle position. You cut on the tape, and he's just blowing up, pulling guards in the backfield. And I didn't see him in one of their last games, so I asked Coach, is he going to play? He said it's game time decision. So it's good to see him out here tonight for Lawrence Tech.
Brooks on third down, looking downfield and missing his brother Bailey. They converted on the last third down try. This one begging, and Concordia sends out the kick unit.
That's a good stop by the defense. They probably got bailed out on a bad pass from one brother to the other. We talked about brothers. A couple of weeks ago, University of St. Francis out of Illinois, they had the Tumulty brothers coming in. They had Scott, they had Sam, they had Joey, their youngest, and they went wild all over this field. So it's really a different animal when you have a brother-type connection.
Jai Robinson on the field for Concordia. He's 4 of 5 on field goals this year. His long is 34. This try from about 40. It's up. And it's good. That's a new season long for the freshman from Divine Child. Concordia knocks it through. Bend, don't break for the LTU D. We have another flag.
And it looks like the offense is walking back on the field here. And this is where those penalties early on start to matriculate into other penalties, right? You get into the pattern of penalties, and it's going to hurt you down the line.
That's very costly for Lawrence Tech. They were one play away from squandering this offensive drive by Concordia and settling for 3. But now you give Gavin Brooks another chance to give Concordia back into it and even this game.
A free first down given to Concordia because LTU jumps offside on a field goal on 4th and 4. And yeah, that Concordia offense right back on the field. Brooks giving to Stewart. Waiting for something on the left side. He didn't get it, and he also got another flag. Whatever the over is on flags, I hope he took it because it's probably hit already.
It's going to be a hold the other way in Concordia as Mackenzie Alibra made the tackle on Stewart right along that sideline. Alibra had that one covered really good. Didn't allow him to get in front, kept his man in front in good form, open field tackle.
And Grant, you know this as a receiver, right? The hardest place to block are those long developing plays to the outside. It's hard not to hold.
Yeah, and you got to get out there and you stalk block, right? And you're trying to stay in his face and you're trying to let him go one way or another. But then when that ball carrier gets outside of you, he reacts, and then you're your second one to react. And then that jersey sometimes gets tugged, and there's nothing you can do about it. So tough call there for the defense. But you got to pick it up here and try to get a stop.
Brooks setting his feet and throw in and completes. Broaden has been all over the field on this defensive series, John. He nearly has an INT right here.
No, definitely. This is just one of the leadership roles of him. We've seen it in practice, and we now see it live in the game, just reading this throw. And this is basically almost like a Bermuda Triangle area right here. Misses target number 1, misses target number 2, and Broaden right along that sideline just gives it his best chance. Even if it's going out of bounds, you got to give it your best shot.
Second down and 20 for Concordia after that holding penalty on first down, backed him up. Pitch to Carpenter. His first carry of the game isn't going for much. LTU rallies to the ball, Grant, and this is going to be another third down and long for a Concordia offense that feels like it's been living in third and long.
Yeah, and they're going to have to find ways to get off the field here, but they got to compliment the D-line so far. I mean, coming into this game, that was one of their strongest suits, one of their strongest units, and those guys are playing really good. They're playing the run game extremely well right now, kind of forcing Concordia's hand to go to the pass game here.
Third down 19. Brooks had it tipped incomplete. Active hands on the defensive line. And Concordia gifted that free first down. Nothing.
Now it was Dante Band who also got a piece of it, but that's a great response by the defense. You first shoot yourself in the foot. You're forcing your defense to come back out to try to stop another offensive play from happening. And now you set yourself an even longer field goal range for Concordia.
All right, so Robinson's back on the field. Now trying a 45-yarder. Once again, this would be his longest of the year. Snap a little high, but the hold put down, and the kick is no good. Hooked it to the left.
Now, this could be a big momentum swing here for Lawrence Tech. 3 points went on the board, but that penalty took it off. They had another set of downs, and they get another stop, and they kicked it and tried to do it. Good job here by LTU.
Good start for Lawrence Tech. Back on the field and on offense right after this.
Because every athlete deserves to be treated like a pro. Henry Ford Sports Medicine.
From our very first breath, curiosity is why we question everything. Through barrages of whys and how comes, it now needs the tools to will its vision into existence. Tools that allow curiosity to blur the line between technology and magic. Be curious. Make magic. The College of Engineering at Lawrence Technological University.
At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Lieboy, Bogen, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
All right, we're back at Lawrence Tech. Heck of a start for the home team. Blue Devils coming in 1-4, but it was a confident bunch coming in, and they're off to a heck of a start. They'll try the right side. Spinning across the 30, getting a couple of yards. That's the freshman from Loyola High in Detroit, Devon Bentley. John, we were talking about this top of the broadcast, the Lawrence Tech team about as confident a bunch as you can be in 1-4. Again, early in the ball game. They got to feel good with this start.
Oh, yeah, the energy is alive on that sideline. The head coaches are really trying to keep it up with these young guys. And the one thing that Yvonne Mitchell says is that these guys are learning faster every single week, so that way they become their own coaches on the field.
Osmond shifts out a man to the backfield and gives it back to Bentley, who's got a ton of room. Man, Grant. Every time Lawrence Tech puts it on the ground so far today, it looks like this.
Yeah, and this is the first time we're going to see Devon Bentley here touch the ball, but he is a lightning in a bottle. And you see him rocking the hand cast there. It doesn't stop him. He's got the ball high and tight in that left arm. Great protection. Gets through the line there, and really good blocking on that left side of the line there by Griffin Peacock and in the center, Ryan Barris.
Yeah, Ryan Barris, he is the anchor, as Yvonne Mitchell calls him. The whole offensive line, the whole offense starts with Ryan Barris right there at center.
A light rain starts to fall. It's been on and off all day here in Metro Detroit. Third different guy carrying the rock for Lawrence Tech. Whoever they're cycling through is getting the job done. That's Tabert on the carry with yet another flag.
Yeah, their variety of running back options is basically limitless. They got so many guys that can run the ball with purpose every time they get it in their hands.
Personal foul on the block for Lawrence Tech is going to back him up. And this turns into a first down and long on the way. Ignite your future at Lawrence Technological University. With cutting-edge programs, expert faculty, and limitless opportunities, we're shaping tomorrow's leaders. Join us in a journey of discovery and success. Be curious, make magic, and learn more at ltu.edu. Guys, do you know off the top of your head how many penalties we've had in the first quarter? I feel like there's been 37.
Yeah, I lost track after the 37th. Stop keeping count.
We're definitely close to double digits, though. I know that.
First down and a mile. They roll Osmond to the right, and he throws to a wide open man. That is Nick Robinette. Grant, how in the world did he get that open?
You know, he did a really good passing concept there. They switched, released these receivers, right? And Nick Robinette's going to go inside, but they send that swing motion out there to kind of get those linebackers on the run. They get Alex Osmond on the run as well to help him throw this ball, get him outside the pocket where the rush isn't coming from, and they run a little curl route with Nick Robinette. And it's good to see Nick Robinette get his hands on the ball early here. He's had some drops earlier in the year that he's had to work on and build confidence off of. So seeing him get involved here early, he's one of their speedsters. It's good to see.
Well, it was first down and 25. He'll take a gain of 18 on the play. Another run for Tabert. Slept a couple of tackles. Kept fighting. This is one heck of a run. Caleb would just not go down.
Got a lot of help from his O-line back there. You just stuff your way into the pile, but you keep your legs moving, and then just wait for the backup. And Tabert, he's another one of their guys in which they rely on so much to make up with huge runs. You got Davidson, you got Bentley, and you also got Tabert.
And Tabert's got some experience, man. He's coming from Eastern Michigan. Was also at Liberty, a local community member from Oxford, Michigan. And just a really physical back. Another good blocking presence, too, in the run game when they use him in that facet.
If it's one thing that Yvonne Mitchell also did very well in his recruitment is bring guys over with experience, not just recruiting all the young guys.
Another carry for Bentley. He's had a couple of good ones on the drive. This one's back to the line of scrimmage. Concordia actually came out with the ball, but Devon was down.
And they're just going to run a little outside zone here with the lead blocker. The end gets beat up the field there, but he cuts it inside with no gain really there. And that's a really good job by the Concordia defense, right? When that run is going sideways, you want to go ahead and try to plug the gaps and make it keep bouncing, but it bounces to the help there, and Concordia wraps up and gets a good tackle for a minimal gain.
Coming up on 3 minutes to go, first quarter. If you had told Lawrence Tech before the ball game this is how the first quarter would look, they'd take it. Long fake to Davidson, and Osmond throws a pick. Air milled it right into the arms of Komesher. That's an INT for Concordia.
And this is where the growing pains occur here. They're just going to run an RPO a little bit. It looks like a little bit of a read here. He's going to hold the ball a little bit too long. He had his guy open from the onslaught there. He's got to get that one out. It took a hit too. The pressure was coming, but that's where a little bit of that freshman comes into play there. He's growing throughout the season, getting better each week. But those are some of the throws that the coaches want to see him avoid.
No, definitely, he had 3 interceptions in their last game against Marion, compared to his counterpart. Brooks is only thrown 2 picks all year. So there comes with experience, but then it comes with learning. So for Alex Osmond, he's just got to keep learning every single day. But they keep relying on him because he keeps learning even after one mistake here and there.
All right, so Concordia's offense back on the field after the LTU INT. On the ground they go for not very much. Again, they keep trying Stewart. But, Grant, it's just tough sledding against those guys in blue and white right now.
Yeah, the D-line is playing fantastic. The guy on the tackle right there, the guy you saw 3 yards in the backfield right on the snap, that's Michael White, number 11. He is an absolute backfield nightmare. I mean, he just runs through the gaps. I mean, at full speed. It is truly a playmaker for them. Like we said earlier, we weren't sure if he was going to be activated today, but it's a really good thing he is because he's going to be a difference if they want to stop the run.
The rain falls a little more fiercely. Flag flies, passes high and incomplete. They were trying to hit DeGainer. And now we have to check the flag.
They're going to get offsides on Lawrence Tech. That's the second offsides that's been called on. First was on that 4th down field goal attempt, which opened up another drive attempt for Concordia, but this time it just gives them closer distance on a 2nd down play.
And guys, let's watch with this rain, with the wind, how the passing game is affected. The last 2 passes for both teams, air mails.
Yeah, air mails. And who's to say that air mail on Alex Osmond wasn't due to the rain, right? It could have just slipped out of his hand. And you saw right there an experienced thrower, and Gavin Brooks had an open hitch route to the field there. Now, that is a far throw from the hash to the numbers, but that's a throw he usually makes, so that rain could be playing a factor here early on.
Give Stewart a little more room this time. Still not a lot of room to go there. Matt Plaga, the first man to him, number 20. They keep trying that run game, just not a lot.
No, Matt Plaga Head coach Yvonne Mitchell said he's the most violent hitter on that defense. He is not afraid to throw his body around at anybody or anything. So look for him to be a difference maker, especially at that linebacker slot.
Give again. Stewart lowering his shoulder, getting the necessary yardage across the 40 up to the 43. And Concordia does convert another third down.
And they're going to convert. I mean, they're really good on third down. They have really good success converting third downs at a very high clip. They're averaging a good yardage on second down, and it makes the third downs easier for them. So this is nothing new to them. And they're off to a slow start, though, so they got to get the ball moving here, in typical Concordia fashion.
Yeah, they're 55% on third downs this year. Brooks throws low. May have been miscommunication with his receiver, DeGainer, on that far side of the field.
They were bringing up both linebackers, and Plaga, he was trying to literally throw his body right at Brooks, and Brooks felt his pressure. So he probably rushed that throw just a bit, and it was just offline.
And that's the first time we've seen Seeger DeGainer be targeted there. He's one of their best receivers, leading the team in touchdowns, receiving. Really just a true difference maker. Had a fantastic game against Wayne State. A kid with a lot of speed. If he catches the ball, he's a problem in open field.
Another run for Carpenter. Couple in the ball game for him, getting across the 45-yard line to the 46. So it'll be a third down and long for Concordia. Grant, you were talking about how good they've been on third down, but it's tough to convert when it's 3rd and 7 and longer.
Yeah, and the elements are playing a factor too. As we've seen, Gavin Brook make some really uncharacteristic throws here, so you got to anticipate and assume it's the rain. And it's interesting to see what the coaches have in store in their playbook. I would like to say maybe some quick game action. They're going to go nub side here, meaning one tight end away and all the receivers to the front side. So I think they're going to get a little roll pass here, try to hit the boundary.
Brooks over the middle. The catch was made, and then Hay was dropped. LTU flying all over the field today. Brody Snyder the hit, and Concordia's got a punt.
No, Brody Snyder, he was not one of the guys on that original starting line when the season began, but when he just brought himself in, secondary replacing a few guys that had to go out, he just went off, making tackle after tackle, a few tackles for loss, and he comes up with a huge one to stop Concordia on this drive.
They don't have to punt it in the first quarter if they don't want to, and they won't. So this thing will go into the second quarter. A Lawrence Tech football team that comes in with one win on the whole season. You wouldn't know it by watching this first quarter. Home team playing well. 7-0 lead, and they're about to get the ball back right after this.
At Michigan First Mortgage, we believe a home is more than just four walls. It's endless possibilities, where relationships are strengthened and next steps are taken. It's a place to call your very own, where you can create new traditions and welcome family with open arms. And at Michigan First, it's at the heart of everything we do. Let us help you discover the possibilities of home.
From our very first breath, curiosity is why we question everything. Through barrages of whys and how comes, it now needs the tools to will its vision into existence. Tools that allow curiosity to blur the line between technology and magic. Be curious. Make magic. The College of Architecture and Design at Lawrence Technological University.
You might not realize it, but tonight you made a difference. Tonight you ordered a little love, hope, and pizza. Because even though you just ordered a pizza for dinner, that one little purchase helps make a big difference. For every pizza purchased in the month of October, Hungry Howie's will make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation, all on our way to raising $5 million. So this time you didn't just order pizza. You ordered a little love, hope, and pizza.
Hungry Howie's.
All right, we're back in Southfield. Lawrence Tech taking on an undefeated Concordia club that just beat Wayne State, a Division II school, last week. Heck of a start for Lawrence Tech, 7-0 lead. Concordia punting to start the second quarter. Rembert tried to call fair catch, couldn't do it, and Concordia couldn't keep it from rolling into the end zone. So Lawrence Tech catches a break there. So far in this game, John, there aren't many things, if you're a Lawrence Tech fan, you can complain about.
No complaints whatsoever. This has probably been their healthiest start that they've had to the season. Now, like we said, everything was very chippy to start off. Flags galore on both sides because everybody just wants to feel that early energy, that early rush, and just get all the adrenaline flowing. But then when they took it down the field and scored, everything changed. The whole dynamic changed. And the defense made stop after stop. Even after a few mistakes, they've been able to hold their ground so far.
Offense back in the field. First drive ended with an Osmond touchdown pass to Rembert. The second drive ended with an Osmond interception. This drive starts on the ground with Davidson, who we did not see on the last drive. To start this drive, Grant, he gains about 3 yards.
Yeah, a short gain there, and Concordia brought a little will blitz there. They walked the will up on the line of scrimmage, made it a 5 down front, and then he was, number 36, Liam Carey, was actually the guy to get in on that tackle. Liam Carey, number 36 from Concordia, is actually their leading tackler, a guy that they really count on.
Now, unfortunately, we have an injury for Concordia. That's the junior from Concordia Lutheran High School in the Paris of the Midwest, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Logan Narwald Settle is down, so we got a break in the action. Are you curious at how data analytics can increase a company's profits? In the College of Business and Information Technology, data science is taught by experts in the field. Degrees in both the master's and bachelor levels in business data analytics are available at Lawrence Technological University. Be curious and make magic at ltu.edu. Still attending to Narwald Settle in the middle of the field. 6 tackles for Logan entering tonight on the season. 19 career tackles coming into the season. Great size to Logan. He's 6'2", 270. High school wrestler. Hope he's all right. As for all those guys in blue and white, Grant, what I'm wondering here, yeah, you got a good start, but how do you keep going?
Yeah, just stick to the game plan. What the coaches, you got to believe in what the coaches have instilled, and they're your mentors for a reason. They got the headsets on, and they install the playbooks for a reason. They know what's coming, right? They watch the film. They know the tendencies of the defense. So you got to trust them and keep following the pattern. I mean, the run game's been there. These 2-back sets, when they go 2 backs in the backfield and 3 receivers, they're going 20 personnel. They see a little bit of an advantage there, and it's been working early on. So I'd like to see them continue the run game, get north and south, and then help that set up the play action.
Narwald Settle came off the field under his own power. Good to see. He's walking slowly to the benches, and they'll check him out. Another run for Davidson, this time left side. Not a lot. Got back to the 25 and stopped there after a gain of a couple of yards. John, this offense for LTU done a good job staying ahead of the chains, and now we find out what they have for us on a 3rd down and a little bit longer.
They are not afraid to trust Alex Osmond in this play with throwing the football, and we've seen it even a few times on 4th down because they have gone for it a lot of times this year. But on 3rd and about halfway down there, we'll see what they have stored out. But they have full trust in their quarterback here.
And a guy to keep an eye on is number 7 in the slot, Jalen Wallace, excuse me. He's a guy that really can get open and also make big plays.
They'll try to trust Osmond. Going deep, looking for that guy. Oh, my goodness. Grant Perry almost called his shot. They were going for Jalen Wallace. He tried to tightrope in the air and make the catch. It was just through his fingers.
Yep, it's 3rd down. You're going to get man coverage. So what do? You run an inside fade. You put one of your best receivers out there, one of your best possession catchers, and he almost goes and gets it. But the DB makes a good play at the end there. Number 1 there for Concordia is Kelly Matthews, another big player for them on their secondary. And those are the plays, Evan. You ask, how do you keep the game going? How do you stay ahead of the chains? How do you put more points on the board? It's those little plays. It's the difference between a touchdown on this drive or a punt. So, a good play there by the Concordia defense, and it was very, very close there by Jalen Wallace on the catch.
Dixon on to punt. Pressure coming. He got it away. It's a pretty good punt, driving Concordia back inside the 35, where DeGainer calls a fair catch. Grant, be honest with me and everyone watching this broadcast. When you call for them to throw to a certain player and then they throw it to that guy, you have to feel good, right?
Yeah, I got a little happy there. I'm not going to lie. I saw him running the inside fade. I saw him giving a nice, inside jab step to get that defender off him. And then I saw Alex Osmond drop. He took a 3-step, looked up to the sky, and just let that thing fly. Threw a beautiful ball, too. But, yeah, no, I won't lie to you. That felt pretty good.
Look, I don't know what's going to happen the rest of the game, but I can promise you we're not going to lie to you. Because there's a bunch of Catholics up here, and that's against the rules. Pressure coming. That's a sack for LTU. Devin Isaac gets home.
No, he has been their lead rusher on that D-line, and we're going to see him just explode right across. Brooks is analyzing all of his options, went through 3 different options, and right there's Devin Isaac with the wrap-up. Just textbook wrap-up and just textbook rush right there offline.
And if they're going to want to get off the field on these third downs, these second downs here, and make it hard on Concordia, guys like Devin Isaac are going to have to be the difference today. And he just won that one-on-one pass rush set. He's a really good player for them on the edge. Number 23, Devin Isaac.
On the ground was Stewart. Tough running again. Didn't get to the 30. And once again, Grant, Concordia is living in a space. All night it's been like this, third down and long.
Mm-hmm. And you got to wonder, was that Wayne State win, did that blow them up a little bit? You start the season 4-0, and you look across the street and you see Lawrence Tech coming in at 1-4. So maybe right now they're off to a slow start. It's as uncanny of them. They don't really, get off to slow starts. They move the ball very well. But if you're Lawrence Tech, you're loving it. You want them in third and long as many times as possible.
Long way to go for Concordia here. Brooks over the middle. Logan Hay wide open. They keep getting in third and long, and more often than not, it feels like they're getting it.
Yeah, and that was Logan Hay. That's like the third favorite receiver. He's got a good amount of catches on the season. He's a really big factor in the middle of the field for him. And when you go to the middle of the field, you go to the middle of the field when it's open, right? The 2 safeties are playing off the hash, worried about the number 2 receivers, and then Logan Hay comes striping right down the middle there on a linebacker, and that's the matchup you want.
Coach Mitchell sprinting down the sidelines for Lawrence Tech to call timeout. It's been a night, John, where it's felt like everything's gone right for LTU. Now they just had something go wrong in a big way.
No, definitely. And this is where we see Yvonne Mitchell call these timeouts. He has had to call timeout for his defense a lot of times during the year because Concordia was rushing up the field. They were going to go no huddle. They were ready to snap the ball. They were trying to get some late subs in there, and Yvonne Mitchell realized that, and he just sprinted towards the side judge and called the timeout. He's had to do that a lot during this year because of the communication and because the defense was kind of like felt on their heels. So therefore, it's their head coach bailing out the players.
Mm-hmm. And another situation that comes up too is, that defense is out there, and they might have a certain personnel, right? You got your nickel package or you got a heavy package out there, and then Concordia's got 3 receivers, 4 receivers, and a tight end out there, and they're playing fast, right? And they see an advantage. They see you don't have as many coverage guys in there. We're going to hurry up and try to make you either burn a timeout or give up a big play on the next play.
So after the big conversion to Logan Hay, Concordia's got a first down and 10 at LTU's 33. They give it to DeGainer on a motion and some room on the right side. Concordia sideline wanted a flag for a late hit, not going to get it. Grant, you've alluded a couple of times to Sigurd DeGainer, a guy who's been maybe their best receiver all year. Hasn't had a catch yet and just found a way to get him the ball.
Yeah, they're going to have to get crafty here because, Lawrence Tech's playing really good defense right now. They're not allowing a lot here on the perimeter, and that's really where Sigurd DeGainer really thrives. I mean, had a really good game last week, had a 38-yard touchdown that really was just, got them really into the game versus Wayne State. And it's really their main focal point on offense at the receiver's position. They got some other good athletes, but he really leads every category receiving-wise.
Back to Stewart. Trying to get the edge. Not going to happen. Flying up. McDonald makes the tackle in the open field.
Yeah, and you also see John Webster in the mix as well. Webster and McDonald, look for these guys all over the edges. Their coverage is golden, and they've been able to keep that consistent for most of the year. And they've had a couple of great takeaways and also a few forced fumbles as well. So look for them to also to punch out the ball.
Xavion McDonald, number 15, a redshirt sophomore from Godwin Heights in the greater Grand Rapids area. John Webster, a junior, went to University Academy, not too far from here, Metro Detroit. Godwin Heights has had some awesome hoops teams over the years. Brooks on second down. Gavin given time, and he throws high, incomplete. They wanted DeGainer again, but once again, Grant, they missed him.
Yeah, and just another overthrow. I mean, just, this is very unusual of Gavin Brooks. I mean, when you watch the film, I mean, he just makes really good throws. He looks very concise in his reads, and he went to the right place there. You get off coverage to the field. You got a little hitch, curl route, hook, whatever you call it out there. He does a good job of getting it out there, but it's just over the receiver's head, and that's happened time and time again today. You'd like to see him clean that up. He'll get back to it. He's a really good quarterback with a lot of experience, and he's a guy that can bounce back for sure.
Concordia going to go. Gavin Brooks dropping back, throwing it incompletion. They were hoping for Hay again. It was behind him, and Lawrence Tech's defense again bending, not breaking.
Not breaking there, and it looks like Gavin's a little bit off of his game right now because that read's right not there. It's not there. If he were across the safety's face, Logan Hay, that's when you throw that ball. When he's running an inside fade up the seam with a safety on the hash, you want to avoid that throw. And Logan Hay didn't even have his eyes back for it, assuming that it wasn't coming to him. In that situation, you'd like to see Gavin Brooks get off that read and go to the next option there.
Alex Osmond brings the troops back on the field. Former Dearborn Fordson Tractor. Osmond gives here, and this is a strong run for one of Oxford's finest, Caleb Tabert. Again, John, bunch of guys cycling through, running the football for LTU, but more often than not tonight, positive yardage.
No, definitely. Positive yardage, and that is what they have. And according to Yvonne Mitchell, if one guy's not making the positive yardage, they'll sequence him out within the same drive. But usually they go person to person per drive. Like last drive, we saw C.J. Davidson. The drive before that, we saw Devon Bentley. And this time around, we see Caleb Tabert. And now we also see, I believe that's Bentley right back out there with him.
Another great gain on first down for LTU. Second down, 2. Tabert running again. And he's tripped up. Nice tackle in the open field. That's Gabe Whitmore making the tackle. And it's going to be third down for the Blue Devils.
At some point when you're on this outside zone track, you got to work to get north and south because that defense is just going to start pursuing you and cutting off your lanes and not giving you an angle to get to the perimeter there. They're getting a little bit tighter. Caleb Tabert running all over them, and they take good pursuit angles and get them there for a minimal gain. Caleb Tabert had 7 carries last week, second in rushing attempts for Lawrence Tech, and you can see why. I mean, he provides a spark for this offense, and he's a hard runner.
Third down, 3. And a flag. It's going to be third down today.
Looks like they're going to get Curtis Maxwell, the right tackle. Definitely was just a nudge too early on that one. So this is going to back them up even more. And again, they're going to probably go with Alex Osmond and his throwing abilities. Because back in his days of Dearborn Fordson, he had Antonio Gates Jr., and now he's off at Michigan State, a wide-open target along those sidelines. But now he's got even more options here at Lawrence Tech.
Just something to watch out for. They're going a little bit of a different set here. Look at the bottom of the screen. If you can see it, I don't know if you can see it at home, but number 4, Mauricio, the tight end, Mauricio Jenkins, is lined out here against a smaller cornerback. We didn't see that too much on film. That might be a mismatch they're looking to exploit.
Third down long. Osmond sacked. Never had a shot to let it go because Liam Carey got him from behind.
Liam Carey, he is one of their top guys, especially on tackles, and he just beats him to the spot, rushed the edge, and nearly knocked out the football. Good thing by Osmond for holding it on, forcing the punt by Dixon.
And when you get into those third and long situations, it not only it makes it harder to achieve that first down, but as a quarterback and as an offense, you get way more pressure looks, you get man-to-man coverage, and it becomes harder to complete those passes because you got guys smothered over your receivers, and they had 2 guys over Jaden Rainbird over there, and that's where he was trying to throw.
Dixon has trouble with the snap, and it got tipped. Lawrence Tech, all things considered, not a complete disaster as that ball does roll across the 40. But a Concordia club looking for a break all night just got one. And they are going to start in Lawrence Tech territory after this break.
Because every athlete deserves to be treated like a pro. Henry Ford Sports Medicine.
From our very first breath, curiosity is why we question everything. Through barrages of whys and how comes, it now needs the tools to will its vision into existence. Tools that allow curiosity to blur the line between technology and magic. Be curious. Make magic. The College of Business and Information Technology at Lawrence Technological University.
At Michigan First Mortgage, we believe a home is more than just four walls. It's endless possibilities, where relationships are strengthened and next steps are taken. It's a place to call your very own, where you can create new traditions and welcome family with open arms. And at Michigan First, it's at the heart of everything we do. Let us help you discover the possibilities of home.
Back in Southfield, where Concordia just partially blocked the Lawrence Tech punt. So, a Concordia offense that's felt like it's been stuck in neutral all evening maybe gets to hit the gas here. First down 10, approaching LTU's 40. Brooks gives. Carpenter runs. That is one of the best Concordia runs of the night. Across the 40 they go to the 37-yard line.
And a good run there, a gap scheme run. They pull that backside guard, a little one back power there, getting up the middle, north and south. Got hands on the second-level defender, blocked the linebacker, which let him run through that hole untouched.
On the ground again. Good gain again. First down, Concordia, pushing that pile across the 30-yard line. Couple of good runs in a row for James Carpenter.
And they went back to it there. There's just the one back power. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Run it again, and it picked up a first down for them. Really good play there for them on that drive.
Carpenter running. This time not a lot. Ends up leaning forward across the 25, turns into about a gain of 4. I just want everyone to recognize what Grant did there. He tried his best to make it correct English because the phrase is, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Grant goes, if it's not broke, don't fix it. I believe it's actually, if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Oh, I didn't even catch that one.
Sorry.
No. Hey, respect that. Correct me when I'm wrong. I appreciate that.
Play action to Carpenter. Pressure coming again. Lawrence Tech gets home again. Sylvester Jones with the sack. Oh, and he's going to get a penalty because he took his helmet off. Oh, no.
His helmet actually came off during the play, and he was rushing off the field because he knew he had to sit out for the next play. But what a job. Jones has been out for a couple of weeks battling an injury, and this has been great, and they are going to wave off the flag, realizing that. But that's just a great, and welcome back Sylvester Jones to the defense. They've been missing him all year long.
Former Grand Blanc Bobcat shoots the gap. Grant, if we had $1 every time we've said tonight, Concordia has third down and long, I could buy you dinner after the game.
Yeah, you would be able to buy me a steak dinner with some mashed potatoes and a little bit of side of asparagus because they are third and long and every drive it seems like. And they're going to have to figure out a way to get ahead of the chains here if they want to stay in this game. I mean, Lawrence Tech is really controlling this line of scrimmage here on these third downs.
Brooks rolling away from pressure. He throws a completion. And DeGainer out of bounds. First time that Seegers caught one today. The leading receiver for Concordia all year has been bottled up. And now we see what decision they make. Concordia tried a 45-yard field goal earlier in the ball game and missed it.
Now they are going to go for the field goal chance right here. Still within Robinson's area of zone right here within a 40-yarder.
Robinson's longest on the season, 34 yards. He had made a 41-yarder earlier tonight that was wiped out because of a penalty. And then he missed that 45-yarder. Operation clean, and the kick knuckleballing its way through the uprights. You're a smart man, John. Said Concordia should trust him. They did, and they get 3.
No, they did, and for Lawrence Tech, this is their longest stance of shutting out their opponents this year, and we're nearly done with this first half of football. And even for Lawrence Tech, that's a win on the defense. When you can hold your opponents to just a field goal chance and still make it that difficult going to their kicker's longest distance, even for him, that wasn't a solid kick because he was actually going against the wind. The wind's been blowing against him and going towards the other direction most of the day. It's actually picking up right now with a little bit of rain. And also, during the last media timeout, there was a bit of a light show, and it appears that a few of the lights up there have gone out. So just a little bit, but still well lit up is Blue Devil Stadium.
And also the rain has returned. I'm a baseball broadcaster as well, and when you're a baseball broadcaster, you become an amateur meteorologist. So I was checking the radar on the way here. It's one of those days where there's just pockets of green all over the place on the radar. That basically means it's going to rain for 20 minutes, then it's going to stop, then it's going to start again. You kind of wish there was this big wall of green so it could just roll through the area and go away, but I think, guys, we're going to be forced to on and off rain rest of the night.
Yeah, I'm with you. I did broadcast for Lawrence Tech baseball. I'm going up to Jimmy John's Field in Utica, checking that forecast. I'm just looking for the wall. Like, is it happening or is it not?
And to your guys' point, I've never broadcasted baseball, but I did play back in my day, and I will tell you, when I was a kid at recess and at the playground in elementary school, and when it was raining, you knew that baseball was in question that night, that the big game that you had coming up, and that used to be the biggest fear I had during that day. Is my baseball game going to get canceled? I sure hope not.
This kicks away, bounding at the 10-yard line and rolling to a stop. So Lawrence Tech forced to pick it up. And the return is not going to make the 20. Strong tackle on special teams by Concordia. Lawrence Tech trying to bust a big one, but Garrett couldn't get free. Down to the sidelines we go for a little bit more.
Hey guys, the energy and the confidence just down here on the sideline, I don't think we've really seen that so far this season, especially from Osmond. Obviously a couple things haven't gone our way, but just talk about the energy down here.
Yeah, they started off great. We were kind of talking earlier, how do you beat a bully in a fight? Well, you got to punch him in the face first, right? They did that. Alex Osmond started off great. They had a great tempo to their first drive. It helps when you can capitalize on penalties and miss field goals. Still a close ball game, though, so we'll see. The rain's holding off a little bit, but we'll see what happens.
Absolutely, and just kind of talking about the weather a little bit, how is this going to affect the game, moving forward?
The run game will be important. The more it rains, the more the run game is going to be dependent on, and for Lawrence Tech, that works in their favor.
Absolutely. All right, Evan, back to you guys.
All right, guys, stay warm down there. You may have noticed that when we first checked in with Liz and John on the sidelines earlier in the game, they were not wearing coats. They are now wearing coats because they're smarter than us.
Something about when the nighttime really hits around here in Metro Detroit, everything just picks up, whether it's rain or whether it's the wind. Everything starts to pick up an extra 2 miles an hour or even close to 5.
On the ground again with Davidson, trying the right side, and he was stopped. Colby Komesher, who had an interception earlier tonight, makes the stop there. And this is a spot, Grant, that Lawrence Tech doesn't really like being in. Third down and a little bit longer.
Yeah, converting third downs at 25%. That's not winning football on the third down grading scale. So they're gonna have to figure out a way here to get that 5 yards and really pick up this first down and get Concordia off their game a little bit. It looks like Concordia has got a little bit of momentum here. After that field goal, seeing some points on the board. If you're Lawrence Tech here, you got to dial up one of your best calls. And also you got to expect man coverage here too. Third down and 5. Concordia likes to go man coverage, likes to make you beat them one-on-one. So who's going to step up? So far it's been Jalen that's been targeted, and so has Jaden Rembert. Look for those guys to try to make a play here.
The snap to Osmond on third down. Pressure in his face, and it got knocked down. That's incomplete. Man, there are a lot of bodies in that pit down there, John. I think Osmond was having a tough time just looking around, trying to find someone with all those bodies in his face.
Oh, yeah, they brought the house. They were rushing everything, and it looks like it was Liam Carey who got the knockdown on it. And it was basically when timing was everything. And for Osmond, he had to get that ball out, but he just ran right into a wall because they brought the wall. So and hopefully this time around they have a better snap to Dixon, because Dixon, he's got a leg. He's been averaging almost to the 70-yard marker, and that's why a couple weeks ago he was named Special Teams Player of the Week.
The last snap was high, and the punt was blocked, and the operation again for Lawrence Tech, a disaster. Concordia will start inside the 10.
And it's going to come down to two phases. You got to win 2 out of 3 on the day. That's usually a good grading scale on who plays the best. And right now, Concordia is winning a little bit of defense here in the second quarter and special teams. These snaps have just been out, on the outside shoulder of the punter here, Carter Dixon, and he just hasn't gotten a grasp on it. I bet when he comes back to the sideline, they're going to work on getting those snaps and getting them nice and right at that chest level so he can get a good punt on the next drive. But this is really what we've been talking about here. The Lawrence Tech defense put in these situations. I mean, look at the starting field position, starting on the 8-yard line. That's really tough. And so if Lawrence Tech can come away with, at the minimal, a field goal attempt here, they're winning good ball.
Concordia starts first down goal, trying to take their first lead of the night. They roll Brooks to the right. He looks to the corner, and he has a touchdown. Big target back there. 6'4" Logan Hay brings it in. Concordia's got the lead.
And just a really good job here. Good scheming of the defense. You understand that you're getting a man coverage type feel. They run a whip on the outside, and then Logan Hay, number 11, the tight end, is going to run a corner route, and he's matched up on Darian Murray, who's the 5'10", 200-pound junior, and Logan Hay's sitting at a good 6'4", So there's a little bit of height advantage there, and he's a big red zone target, and Concordia uses him in the passing game a lot. He got the man coverage look they wanted, and they came through with a conversion there.
Robinson trying to make it a 3-point lead, and he does. So with 2:45 to go in the first half, here's the situation we're at, boys. John, if you're someone who looks at the world as glass half empty, if you're a Lawrence Tech fan, you have got to be kidding me. We have outplayed Concordia in this first half, but we've had 2 bad snaps on punts, and that's why we're losing. If you're glass half full, which I try to be, hopefully everyone else tries to be, okay, we've dominated the first half. We're about to get the ball to close the half. Maybe we go down and score and take the lead into the break. We'll see.
No, definitely. That's what they've got. That's what they got to do. They got to wipe everything that just happened on special teams. They got to wipe that clear out and just have a good, solid offensive drive. Try to take up the last 2:45 left on this clock, and try to hope to retake a lead. Because if I'm not mistaken, Concordia will have the football to begin the second half. So you want to end this on a power drive to retake the lead, because this is homecoming. You got to be almost crisp, and you got to make it your best and give it your all. So if you make a mistake, just forget it and move on. So that's what Lawrence Tech has to do in order to finish out this half.
Lawrence Tech's got 2 timeouts left. Concordia has all 3. And, of course, that plays a factor into how quickly the clock rolls at the end of halves.
Mm-hmm. And when you're on the sideline in these situations, the offense getting ready to go back out in the field, you're getting with your position coach, you're getting with the OC, and you're going through your 2-minute plays right now. You're flipping through the playbook. At Michigan, we used to have a playbook of our hot plays, right? The plays that we had memorized, but we just take a look over, right before we take the field in a 2-minute drive, just to give you a little refresher. So they're going to have to get in 2-minute mode here and try to get some points on the board to end this second quarter.
Another return for Tyler Garrett. This one across the 25 to the 26. Multiple flags. A couple of guys tied up on that return. Look like Jacob Ranny, number 24 for Lawrence Tech, got tied up with a Concordia Cardinal.
Randy's a guy in which they tried to get him into the running back mix early on in the season, but it wasn't just really working out, so they threw him with the special teams. And I think he's been doing more solid this time around, just trying to use his weight and use his body and his strength to his advantage as we get all the fouls here.
Yeah, the holding is on Randy. You could read the official's lips. He said 24, so that backs up Lawrence Tech. And now, because of that penalty grant, backing Lawrence Tech up inside the 20 at the 16, does that change how you attack this drive at all?
You judge off the first play here. I mean, you still got 2 minutes and 30 seconds, with 2 timeouts left, so you got some time to work. So you want to get a good chunk of yards here on this first down, and then I wouldn't be surprised if they get back to the line of scrimmage to try to get a quick play in on this second play here of this drive.
Osmond gives to start the drive. Blue Devils pushing that pile across the 20-yard line. They give them up to the 22. So this turns into a good first down carry for Caleb Tabert. And Lawrence Tech staying ahead of the chains on first down.
And that's the kind of play you want on that first play of this drive in the 2-minute situation. Getting that first, the first couple yards. They pick up 5 on that play, and that puts them in a good position to succeed here on second. And if they have a third down, then third down.
Osmond fields the snap. Hit as he throws, the ball's out. And Lawrence Tech fall on the ball, averting a crisis.
Yeah, and Curtis Maxwell, he got beat right around the edge right there. As we take a look, the arm was moving forward, but they did call it a loose ball fumble, so good thing for Maxwell to be able to regain this possession for him. So it's just the little things like this, and Maxwell's been called for a couple of false starts along the way. They just got to clean up everything, just a few things to make things a little bit more interesting towards the end of this half, because they got third down and long in here.
And they're going these 5-man D-line fronts to try to get one-on-one matchups on these O-linemen, and that time it worked.
Lawrence Tech keeps it on the ground. That was Bentley running across the original line to scrimmage, but he does not have the first down. And Concordia, all things considered, that sequence worked out pretty well. They still have 2 timeouts left. There is 1:19 on the game clock. I mean, John, if you're Concordia, getting the ball to start the second half, considering the way this first half has gone, considering the fact that Lawrence Tech, if you've been watching this ball game with us all night, team that's really dominated play, if you're Concordia on that sideline right now, you have got to be feeling good about the way things are going. Coming up at the half, we've got the Women's Lacrosse National Championship ring ceremony and plenty of highlights from this week and more. Make sure you're sticking around. So getting back to what we're just talking about, right, John? I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm sure you are as well, man, if you're Lawrence Tech, you got to hit the reset button mentally here, because it kind of feels like things are snowballing, eh?
Oh, yeah. And not only does Concordia get the ball to start the second half, they get one more chance to add more points to this lead. Right. So for Lawrence Tech, they've got to have a solid stop on defense in order to give their team momentum going into the locker rooms right at the end of this half. And hopefully they can execute this time around. You saw Cara Dixon and a long snapper on the sidelines trying to work this out.
The last 2 snaps have been high. This snap, good. And Dixon sends a boomer. DeGaynor fields near the 40. Flag behind the play. This is coming back. Oh, and we have 2 more flags.
There are 3 total. And, yeah, that first one was on the shove against Concordia, that block from behind. And then the 2 other penalties, they were definitely parallel along that 40-yard marker. So we'll see how they sort this out, because they can't offset it because it's a non-number of penalties.
That's been a familiar sight tonight. The officials huddling up. Okay, we got 1 flag here. Okay, we got another flag here. Is it offsetting? Where does the penalty yardage go? Hard-working bunch down there on a chilly early October night. And they're going to get it all sorted out.
Already into double digits on penalties within this first half. So really for both teams, they're trying to clean everything up.
Decline the first block in the back. Take the second block in the back. I always love, Grant, the way that coaches decide, okay, I'm going to decline the first penalty, but I'll take the second penalty. You know, it just depends on how does it make the field position arithmetic work.
Mm-hmm. It's all, it all has its purpose, right? The different yardages and penalties, and figuring out which one works in best for in favor for your defense. And it looked like that second one, Coach Avant Mitchell favored the most.
All right, 2 timeouts for Concordia. 1:10 on the clock and 70 yards to go for a touchdown, potentially. Snap to Brooks. Stepping up and throwing a tip pass. That's picked! Oh, what a disaster for Concordia! Is this a dream for Lawrence Tech? Plaga knocked out of bounds inside the 10. There are multiple flags behind the play, but for now, this is a Lawrence Tech interception.
A really good job here. Good protection originally. Gavin Brooks steps up, though, and makes a side throw here. And then Devin Isaac with the heads-up play gets the PBU, and then none other than Matt Plaga coming down with the ball. Just a real versatile player for them. Turned into a running back. Got him in good field position, but we're going to have to see what the refs say here on what the flags are and who they are on.
More than definitely, Lawrence Tech's going to have possession because the flags came in after the pick.
The penalty is a personal foul, a legal blindside block on Lawrence Tech, and then you got a sideline warning. You talk about self-inflicted wounds, Grant, for both sides. I mean, my goodness, that should be for Lawrence Tech, 1st and goal inside the 10. Because of the flags, the ball's all the way back to the 40. You still got momentum. You can still celebrate on that turnover thrown, but should be a lot better.
Yeah, and it's, the turnover thrown, excuse me, I can't talk right now. The turnover thrown should feel a lot better when you sit in it. They're all pumped up, but you got to realize what position you just put the offense in here, right? You make a good play defensively, you get the interception, then you make a bonehead block, and then you throw the ball up in the air in the end zone. You got to be better than that.
Osmond facing pressure, and he's sacked. Carey again. That's Liam's 2nd sack of the night. He lost his hat. He's going to have to come off the field. Another great rush.
And Liam Carey is just a guy that, you got to figure out where he's at. You got to set the protection to him. You got to know where he's coming from. And he just bull rushes the running back and says, you know what? I'm going to have a party at the quarterback, whether you like it or not, C.J. Davidson. I took him for a ride, tackled C.J. Davidson and the quarterback there for a big loss on 1st down.
Concordia calls a timeout. That's their 2nd of the half.
Going back to the interception, fellas, you talked about all the excitement. It really turned into a double penalty because of the sideline. They're all pumped. We just got an interception. We're set up inside the goal line. All that's fine and dandy, but everybody's got to keep their cool heads. And remember on the punt play, when there was 3 penalties, and Yvonne Mitchell elected to decline one and accept the other instead of accepting both of them. He was trying to strategize field position, but on the other end, Concordia, they accepted both penalties because they wanted to give Lawrence Tech as much trouble as they could potentially ask for.
And then you stack on a sack on 1st down. You push him back almost to the 50-yard line when you could have been inside the 5. I mean, that's a real big difference maker here to end the 2nd quarter here late on.
The ball is all the way back at the 47-yard line. Concordia showing pressure. This is a give to Davidson, and he's tackled in the backfield.
Yeah, it's Devontae Bean, and he lost his helmet too. Helmets are flying off of all these guys, and they don't really care. They're hitting guys. They're bringing guys down. They're making plays. As we're going to get another timeout called on the field. But first Carey and now Bean, as we get his name called out for the first time tonight. They're just rushing the edge. They're beating the guys. I'll let you take this one here.
Demonte Bean, you said it right on point. I mean, he has been a factor here today for that D-line for Concordia. A big fella right there standing, at 6'5", 285. That's not an easy body to tackle. He plays that 3 techniques. That's going to be outside shoulder of the guard, and that's, the tackle there. He's, the guard. I apologize. I'm getting my linemen mixed up. But outside shoulder that guard, and he plays right up through the line of scrimmage. And they're running an outside zone, and he just cuts it off and becomes the contained player there.
They got to get to the 30-yard line of Concordia. It is 3rd down and 19. Osmond the drop, throwing the ball into double coverage, and it's knocked away. Couple of Concordia defensive backs converging on the football. Leroy Watson, one of the guys, tried to find Rembert on that play. It could have been 1st and goal for Lawrence Tech inside the 10. But 2 penalties on the return put him back at the 40. Back-to-back losses on 1st and 2nd down completely kill what should have been a huge momentum boost for Lawrence Tech.
And this has been a little bit of a theme during the course of the year. When they think that they have a little bit of momentum, like a big play happens, everybody gets so pumped up, and they're trying to create the routes for everybody to start running, and then the flags start flying. So they've got to really cool their heads off.
Dixon's punt, angle to the sidelines, taking a fortuitous bounce, rolling inside the 10. It's down near the 8. Timeout situation. Lawrence Tech has the 2. Concordia has none. Concordia can take this thing to the locker room if they want. Unfortunately, we have a Cardinal injured behind the play, too. It's a man receiving attention around the 43-yard line.
I believe that's Marvitas Dupree at midfield down. Hopefully he's okay. He's a good player for them. He's their starting outside defensive end. But if you're Concordia here, you're kind of tucked away in your own territory. You want to be smart. You just are coming off of an interception. They might let Gavin make one throw and see if they can pick up a big chunk play here. But I wouldn't be surprised if they just take this thing into the second half.
Remember, Concordia gets the ball to start the second half. In case you're just joining us on this Saturday night from Southfield, Lawrence Tech scored on their first drive of the game. They've had a couple of drives since that have gone into Concordia territory. They haven't scored. And Concordia has scored 10 unanswered because they've blocked a punt, which turned into a field goal. A high snap on another punt meant that Lawrence Tech was tackled inside their 10, and Concordia quickly cashed in. So a couple of miscues on special teams essentially are the reason why Concordia scored 10 points.
No, and definitely, because I want to point out something from the game from Wayne State. On their first score, it was right after an interception, and it only took them 3 plays to go 31 yards. That was their first score. And then on the very last drive, the game winner that they had, that right after that touchdown, with left 24 seconds on the clock for Wayne State, and then one or two plays later, an interception wins it for Concordia. And Wayne State going into that contest, they're only 1-3, but it doesn't matter. They're a Division II program. So a win like that, a 1-point victory over Wayne State, that's a momentum builder for Concordia going into this matchup, even though the record may so speak for itself.
Good to see Dupree get to his feet, walk off the field. Talented junior from Anchor Bay High in the mighty MAC-Red Conference. Chippewa Valley, Macomb, Dakota, Anchor Bay, Romeo, just playing great game after great game after great game against one another all fall. Grant and I covered Chippewa Valley against Macomb, Dakota a few weeks ago, and that ball game came right down to the bitter end like they all do. All right, let's see how Concordia attacks this. They'll keep it on the ground with Carpenter, who gets a first down and gets out of bounds. I know they don't have any timeouts left, but that's a pretty good gain on first down, Grant.
Yeah, that's a really good gain. Lawrence Tech went in a corners over look there. Corners over means man coverage. They're in a slot look on offense. Concordia had their receivers on one side of the field. They run to the boundary there, and they have numbers into the boundary, especially when you got the corner playing on the other side of the field. They pick up a good first down here, get out of bounds, which is essentially a timeout for them. Allows them to regroup here and really, decide, hey, should we go, a little bit harder here? And we'll see what they do.
They still got the ball inside their 20. The odds are slim. They'll run the same play with Carpenter on the right side, and this time he's tackled across the 20. That should take us to the locker room unless Lawrence Tech wants to call a timeout.
And a really good job there. They went corners over again to the running the formation on offense. It's called a slot. And they went corners over, but the backside defender, Andrew Perkins, at safety, came up and made a really good tackle there. That could have ended in a long run, but Andrew Perkins, one of their most reliable players on defense, comes up big for them on the tackle.
There's your halftime break. Concordia scores the last 10, leads this thing 10-7, and they get the ball to start the second half. A Lawrence Tech team coming in at 1-4 against undefeated Concordia, who I think they'd be the first to admit they didn't play their best half of football at all, but they still have the lead at the break, and they won't feel terribly about that at all. 10-7, Concordia leading Lawrence Tech on a chillier early October night in Southfield, Michigan. Yvonne Mitchell, the head coach for Lawrence Tech, standing by with Elizabeth Kuhn.
Coach, an explosive first half. You guys able to start off really strong, seeing some big plays. The energy on the field is really contagious. What do you want to keep seeing moving forward?
Mostly we need to have is execution. It's a little chippy at times, so we need to play poised, be calm, be very, very smart, play through the echo of the whistle but not beyond. And then we got to protect our quarterback. I think we're running the ball pretty well. We've got to protect our quarterback in the pass game and just be a smart football team.
Yeah, absolutely. You talked a little bit about it, how chippy and tough it is out there. I mean, how are you hoping to see your team respond in the second half?
Halftime coming up here in Southfield, Lawrence Tech and Concordia. For now, we send you to the field in a special ring ceremony for the national champion Lawrence Tech women's lacrosse team.
Emma Cool and Marianne Belcher. Please give a hand to our 2023 national champion, lacrosse team members. Well done, ladies. Up next is our Hall of Fame class of 2023. The class was inducted last night on campus and will have their plaques on the Hall of Fame at the Don Riddler Fieldhouse. The 2023 Laura Affer Legacy Award goes to Superfan and Physics Professor Scott Schneider. Men's and women's tennis coach from 2014 to 2021, Steve Baylander. Men's soccer player from 2014 to 2016, Tyler Winningham. Women's lacrosse player from 2014 to 2017, Khadijah Kalo. And women's basketball player from 2012 to 2016, Haley Butler. Please give a round of applause for our 2023 Class of Hall of Famers. Congratulations.
Good evening, Blue Devils fans, and we welcome you to Blue Devils Stadium for tonight's WAC men's soccer match between the Blue Devils of Lawrence Tech, who is riding on a 6-game unbeaten streak, as they take on the Saints of Siena Heights, who are unbeaten in their last 3. Inside the penalty area, driven across towards goal, and there it is! Marco, and now a chance, shot, goal! Guillermo Garcia able to rip it past Moreno for 2-0 Blue Devils lead. Throw in made for the Blue Devils. 12:18 to go. Oh, look out, this could be trouble. And a volley attempt. Couldn't get to it. Garcia finds the back of the net for his second goal tonight. And the Blue Devils up 3-0, and that should probably seal the points. That, my friend, is all he wrote. And the Blue Devils getting their 9th win of the year, 3rd in the conference. They get the win 3-1 over Siena Heights tonight.
without you and your family. You guys took me in as one of your own, There are many unique things that I can be learning up here on the stage. Obviously, my family. My late father, Harold, and his stepmom, Dory, got me interested and involved in tennis. Dory never had the opportunity to see me coach on a college level. My dad was the biggest fan of our program and our student athletes. He's been about 50-50 at best on the coach. My uncle, Chrissy Everett, daughter Courtney, who, by the way, is the first-time grandfather early next year. And we took one of the excess coaching in the early days as the coach's daughter. On the way to school, on the way to practice, at practice, on the way home from practice, at matches, of course, and of course, where everyone wants to be coached at the dinner table.
I'd also like to say thank you to all my coaches that I've had over the years, from middle school and high school, with Coach Rod and Coach Foster, to MA, and all of those sprinkled in between. Your guidance and wisdom was and still is much appreciated. I've dipped my toes into coaching a little bit, and until you're on the other side, I don't think you truly understand all the effort, planning, patience, and mental toughness that goes on to the other side of making a well-rounded team. And I thank you so much for giving me and your kids that effort. I would also like to say thank you to my teammates and lifelong friends that have made it through the cross. See you guys all over there. Thank you for coming.
And that leads me to kind of people that I'm definitely most thankful for, the parents. I'm not biased, but they are the most amazing, caring, supportive people that I can ever imagine having in my life. Everyone always compliments on how nice my parents are, and I'm like, I hope you can expect that with me, because I'm not that nice to my dad would go out of his way and do anything for someone. I like sleep. And once I got older and graduated college and moved away, I realized how exhausted I was after 40 or 50 hour work week. I was just pooped. And then I kind of made me reflect. And I thought, I was never late for soccer practice. It didn't matter if the game was 10 minutes away or 5 hours away. I was always on time. In the springtime, I was making a tribute film when I was growing up. Every single day I had track practice, and then my dad had to get me over soccer practice on time. And every single Saturday I had track meet, and then I would go to soccer game. And I was never late for anything. And they didn't realize the sacrifice that they made for me to pursue what I loved, playing soccer.
Leadership is the ability to motivate a group toward a common goal.
I think what surprised me most was I was not expecting to have such a great facilitator. I was not expecting to have an individual in a leadership role just truly embody those characteristics and just truly embody character. Dr. Patty Costella has been renowned. She's been amazing.
The characteristics are high ethics and integrity. Self-knowledge is particularly important because if we don't know ourselves, how can we lead others? So the classes focus a lot on self-knowledge and reflection.
Another thing that surprised me about the program were the people. It's really nice to see that the world is a lot smaller than you think. It's nice to meet people who are down the street that you didn't realize were there. It was an easy way to network, and networking can get pretty uncomfortable. So the program definitely created, again, that environment that allowed for us to just kind of be people and just talk. To become the leader that you always aspire to be, enroll in this program.
I hope you enroll in this class. You will find it invaluable.
For over 20 years, Lawrence Technological University has been looking towards the future generations of innovation. And the annual RoboFest is the showcase platform to put all their skills to the test. These events are all about the youngsters putting their creative building minds to the challenges of computer science, coding and programming, and advanced robotics. RoboFest is about giving the chance to the students of elementary up to high school to show their knowledge in a college-level environment. Over 31,000 students have competed in RoboFest, including teams from 18 states and over 30 countries, all for the opportunity to show their skills of teamwork, leadership, creativity, communication, and problem-solving in various competitions, like the classic bottle sumo matches, knock off the bottles or be the last one standing. The RoboMed presentations. Design and program a robot to help in real-life medical situations. And the Unknown Mission Challenge, a real brain-building event in which the students will run against the clock to program an unknown and specific action in a dynamic level course. All these challenges are for the chance to compete in the RoboFest World Championship. The grand prize, a renewable scholarship of up to $17,000 by attending Lawrence Tech. That's $68,000 for 4 years of college. These young innovators are preparing for next-level education and building their future careers. This is RoboFest.
Welcome, State Champs Women. Is it your dream to play your favorite sport in college? State Champs Women is dedicated to providing females the equal coverage they deserve while bringing awareness to the gaps in the recruiting process for women. We want you to build a recruiting profile with us. In 3 easy steps, you can be on your way to finding your dream school and lifelong teammates and friends. Connecting futures, unlocking potential. We are State Champs Women.
Chevy Silverado has what it takes to do it all. With a TurboMax engine and a 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Any truck can help you make a living. This one helps you build a life. Chevy Silverado.
Or GM employees with a current eligible lease can get this Silverado for $299 a month. Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com.
You might not realize it, but tonight, you made a difference. Tonight, you ordered a little love, hope, and pizza. Because even though you just ordered a pizza for dinner, that one little purchase helps make a big difference. For every pizza purchased in the month of October, Hungry Howie's will make a donation to the National Breast Cancer Foundation, all on our way to raising $5 million. So this time, you didn't just order pizza. You ordered a little love, hope, and pizza.
Hungry Howie's.
Curiosity arrives, lighting a path you tenaciously pursue. The unknown presents new challenges, drawing you to a future ready for change. You'll find your calling is closer than imagined. A destination with all the technology and tools to make magic. Lawrence Technological University. Be curious. Make magic.
Back at Lawrence Tech, halftime score, Concordia 10, Lawrence Tech 7. But this is one of those ball games that honestly, Concordia has got to feel a little fortunate to be leading this thing at the break, because a couple of special teams miscues have helped Concordia score 10 points. Oh, by the way, Lawrence Tech at the tail end of that first half had an interception and a return inside Concordia's 10, but 2 different penalties on the return forced Lawrence Tech all the way back to the 40, and that essentially killed an opportunity to at least tie the game with a field goal, if not take the lead. So, Grant, what I'm wondering, as Lawrence Tech comes back on the field and starts warming up for this second half, what the score is what it is, but the way you played that first half, how you feeling right now?
You know, you felt good going into it, right? The first quarter was electric. You came out and you did what you wanted to do, right? You got on the board first. You took the lead. And then the penalties kind of started coming. And then, you know, penalties from Concordia as well. But you got to do your best to limit your own penalties. They kind of ran into some issues on third down, 0 for 6 right now going into the second half. So you got to find ways to convert these third downs and keep your offense on the field. And then just limit the penalties. They're sitting at first and goal after that interception by Matt Plaga if they do the right things. But they keep finding themselves, kind of shoot themselves in the foot. So they just got to reel it in, stick to what they know, run the ball hard, get guys on the second level, block those linebackers, and they should be good to go.
John, on the other side for Concordia, as they come on the field and start getting ready for the second half. Remember, they get the ball to start this second half. What are you thinking about if you're a Concordia Cardinal right now?
Well, if you're Concordia, you just got to hope that Gavin Brooks, he crisping up his passing, because all the times in which he had those interceptions, they were not by really close margins. They were like way off. Like he was out of his zone with his receivers, one of those being his brother, and then they went back to the run game. So I think if you're really crisping up your passes, if you're Gavin Brooks, and you start throwing out more consistent passes, you hit your receivers, hit your routes, I think Concordia can have a field day if they get their passing game going.
As we keep getting ready for the start of the second half, let's go down to the sidelines where John Goebel's got a little bit more.
Thanks, Evan. Yeah, we're getting ready for a big second half here. Was able to get a chance to talk to Coach Schumacher on the sidelines at Concordia. You know, he was really trying to get going for the second half. Something that we didn't talk about before the game when we were talking about the homecoming game, it's not just for the home team. The away team also has to consider how this is going to affect them. Well, the halftime is going to be a little bit longer. Coach is ready to go. They had a little bit of technical difficulties in their tent on the sideline, lost power. So, you know, he was getting ready to go. He said there's some chippiness, there's some feistiness. He wasn't really thrilled with that. He told his players to keep their composure, play their game, and just do what Concordia does. So we'll see how that translates to the second half here, guys, but excited to see another tough second half.
Yeah, John, apparently he's a wannabe Mike Wallace doing some investigative journalism down there. You know, boys, we were wondering up here, why doesn't Concordia look good offensively? They just seem out of sync. Apparently they couldn't radio the plays in. We just found out.
Yeah, that'll affect you in a number of ways. You know, when the quarterback can't get in that flow and that rhythm, it affects everything. You saw the throws were a little high to start it off. But he kind of reeled it in there, hit a couple throws to Seeger, DeGainer, excuse me, and then kind of found his rhythm. I expect him to pick it up this second half. Gavin Brooks, number 15, the junior quarterback out of Livonia Churchill for Concordia, is a fantastic player. And he thrives in these big atmospheres and these big games. And they're coming off of a really big win last week versus Wayne State.
I think a little bit more investigative working to that power outage over there. During a media timeout, the whole stadium lights went down for a bit, and then they went to a lighting ceremony. When the lights went down on that far side, maybe that must have cut out the outlets and must have reset the systems. Who knows? But again, the technical difficulties can play both ways. So we'll see who can respond the best this second half.
Carter Dixon to kick it away for LTU. This is a pop-up kick landing at the 35, rolling free. Untangle the bodies. Looks like Concordia fell on it. A couple of times LTU's tried that kick. That was nearly a big momentum swing to start the second half.
That was very dangerous right there because on the last time they tried that, there was penalties galore. And to give you the exact numbers, 12 total penalties for each side, 8 against Lawrence Tech and 4 against Concordia. That's a total of 80 yards lost, in which Lawrence Tech could have had to make this a completely different ball game.
Yeah, we had a lot of penalties in the first half. Selfishly, I'm hoping for not as many flags in the second half. That's just me. Carpenter on the carry for Concordia, plunging into that LTU defensive line. Tough sledding on the play. Big Wes Pomerly wrapping him up after a gain of a couple of yards.
And a good play there. You know, they're just, it kind of stuffed the middle. When you get run inside, those linebackers feel hard. They react to the tackles blocking down. That's, some of their run keys. And then the D-line, you got to be able to play your gap. But also, if you see the ball commit, you play your gap. But you also get an arm in the other gap. Good job there of containing it for only a 2-yard gain.
Opening drive of the second half. Brooks gives again. Carpenter runs again for not very much again. Maybe got to the 35, but Lawrence Tech's defensive line stiffens. And now, John, to state the obvious, Lawrence Tech would really like to get off the field here on third down.
No, definitely. They've been able to hold Concordia to these third down and long situations, but as we saw in the first half, they've been able to make things closer and actually convert on these long third downs. So we'll see if the defense can really pull through and make a quick 3 and out to start the second half.
Carpenter motions out. Brooks has got the snap and throwing a fastball over the middle for the first down. Just the second catch of the night for Seeger DeGainer. That one moves the sticks. And we have another flag because of course we do. Way behind the play late, Grant.
Yep, it just out of the play, not even relevant to the play. Just extracurriculars are hurting Lawrence Tech right now. They got to clean it up if they want to keep this game arm's reach here. But that pass there, Gavin Brooks finding his target, Seeger to Gaynor for a nice completion. Cover 4 to that bunch side. They just run a little curl concept where they have a flat, a curl, and a go route, and they clear it out, and it opens up a wide open hole there. And if you got a quarterback like Gavin Brooks, he's going to complete that 9 times out of 10.
That is the 9th penalty of the game for Lawrence Tech. We are 90 seconds into the third quarter. Concordia in LTU territory. They swing it out to DeGaynor, who's got room on the outside. Tiptoe on the sideline, staying in bounds, and then shoved out of bounds with a first down. Kind of figured this was coming, Grant, getting him involved.
Yep, you got to find ways to get your players involved. And right here, they're going to just do a little read option here with the quarterback, a little RPO. They get him on a bubble swing, and it's a good matchup, right? They go bunch to the field, which means that backside safety in that cover 4, he has to relate to the number 2 receiver. Number 20, Seeger DeGaynor, becomes that number 2 receiver once he crosses that line, the center's midpoint. And then Andrew Perkins comes up, misses the tackle, and then Seeger DeGaynor picks up a big first down there.
They motion him again. This time hand to Stewart, who's spinning off a couple of tacklers. This is a heck of a run for Brandon Stewart. Hit the circle button twice, and then he got shoved out of bounds.
Now, sometimes when you're a running back, if you are lighter weight, you can easily bounce off of bodies just like that and be able to put it on those spin maneuvers, keep your feet moving. And a guy like Stewart, he's not really the heaviest set of a running back. So therefore he has the advantage when he's able to read off of blocks, especially in front of him, of his O-line, and he's able to bounce off of them, bounce off his own teammates, and just keep the feet moving.
On the march goes Concordia. First down 10 from LTU's 13. Back to Stewart, running up the middle and lowering his left shoulder powerfully. He is just short of the first down. Give him 9 on first down.
And it looks like Concordia came out in this second half with a lot of spark here. It looks like Logan Hay, number 11, the tight end, is going to be taking a breather here on the field. Hopefully he's okay. He's a very important player for them. He comes up big for them. He's third in touchdown reception for Concordia with 2. He might be in second now with that touchdown he had in the first half. You never want to see a good player go down, so hopefully he's okay.
And also one of your bigger targets as well. You never want to leave one of your top tight ends, especially a big guy like Austin Hay from Humboldt, Texas. They know how to do it down there in Texas. So we see all the different football programs that they can come out of the high school or the college level. So that's definitely no sign that you want to see whether you're on either team.
Yeah, and if I saw the play correctly, they were running a little power there. One of the D linemen went to dive and make a tackle. It might have been one of their linebackers, and then his body weight just kind of flew against Logan Hay's body. I think he got kind of wrapped up, a little bit of a lower body issue there. So he's getting to his feet, though, walking off gingerly, and hopefully he can walk that one off.
It's a Concordia sideline, though, that's got to feel good with the way things are going. Scored the last 10 in this ball game. Guy walking off the field slowly, Logan Hay, is the guy who scored their only touchdown tonight. And to state the obvious here, guys, if you're Lawrence Tech's defense, you've got to find a way to get off the field here and make it only 3 points. So all of a sudden, Concordia scores here, 2-score game, and the arithmetic gets a little worse.
No, it was in the same area in which it was on a bad snap on special teams in which they scored, and it only took one play. They know how to take advantage of somebody else's situations.
They can get a first down without scoring the touchdown. Stewart running, pushing the pile. He did not get in, but he did get the first down. It's going to be 1st and goal from inside the 1.
Just running a little bit of pistol there. They bring the back and put him behind the quarterback. It kind of alleviates any tendencies that they might give. And they're going to hurry up and go heavy package here and really try to punch this thing in. And it looks like at quarterback they have number 7, one of their bigger bodies there. And I feel like they're going to go quarterback sneak here, trying to get a little bit of a run action here and really just play power smash mouth football.
That's Ty Norgren, number 7. Big-bodied freshman quarterback, 5'11", 193. And a stoppage before the play.
And if you pay attention closely, this is a rare personnel. I mean, they have one receiver, one running back, and then the rest of those guys are linemen. So I mean, with that being said, their intentions. They're going to try to run it right up the middle.
Well, that timeout was called by Von Mitchell, and this is the second time he's had to call it for his defense because, again, they were trying to make a late substitution or they had too many guys in the field. This is where the Lawrence Tech is really going against themselves when they're trying to play fast and play with an upbeat tempo offense like Concordia, and then they just find themselves in a miscommunication style in which one guy's not in the proper place, and therefore Von Mitchell has to rush down and call the timeout and use one early.
And a deficit here for Lawrence Tech, which very quickly could become 2 scores. You'd like to have the full complement of your timeouts down the stretch. Not going to happen now after the timeout. All right, 1st and goal for Concordia. Inside the 1. Can they power their way into the end zone? They have Gavin Brooks back on the field, the normal quarterback, and he's given for a walk-in touchdown. That's Brandon Stewart plunging over the goal line. His first one tonight, his 5th of the season.
And they're just going to run here just to the right side of the formation. And see that bubble? You want to run to the bubble in between that tackle and that guard. They're going to be in an under front. It means the 3 tech is away from the field there. They're playing a shade to the field, meaning the defensive tackle is going to be head up to outside of that center, which leaves a big goal, a big hole there for the running back to fit through, and they block it properly and they get in the end zone there. Really good scheme there, and way to understand tendencies and personnels. If you're Concordia.
Robinson knocks through the extra point. Made a 40-yard field goal earlier tonight, longest of the year. And now he knocks in another extra point. At 17 unanswered for Concordia. It's a Lawrence Tech team that led for large chunks of the first half. And now, John, to state the absolute obvious, it's an important drive coming up.
It is an important drive. And just after the solid and energetic start that they had, and like I mentioned earlier, they went on for the longest time of shutting out their opponent up until the 4-minute marker of the second quarter. That's the longest they've ever gone without letting their opponent score this season. And to do that against an undefeated team like Concordia, an in-state rival, that's pretty good. But again, one too many mistakes equals what the score is right now. The penalty that was it. It started off this second half, and now Lawrence Tech should get the ball back. This drive is crucial.
And Lawrence Tech's finding themselves in a position in which they don't want to be in. Last week versus Marion, they got beat pretty bad, but it also was kind of a record-setting day, and not for the right reasons. Quarterback Alex Osmond threw a career-high 42 passes, completing a career high of 24. And they don't want to get in that world, right? That's when you're down and you're trying to come back. And they've only thrown a handful tonight, and they're going to have to get back to it here if they don't, cut down on the deficit.
Garrett's had a couple of chances to spring a return. Here's another good one. They kicked it short, tried to stop this from happening. They got across the 50 with the return, and we have more flags.
There's almost 5 of them out there. They had one early on the kickoff. This is going to be for an offsides. One almost parallel to it, and then 2 more as the play was just about over. You almost count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 flags are out. Almost everybody, almost all the judges out there, the officials, almost everybody had a flag to throw.
Friendly reminder for you, we had 12 accepted penalties in the first half. And we've already had several here in the second half.
So much so when they have to write down all these penalties because you never know, because then the side judges will have to go back to the head coaches to see if they will accept it or not and what the situation will be, if they can decline it.
So wave off the offside. There's your personal foul face mask. And an unsportsmanlike conduct on Concordia.
That's 3 straight on Concordia and none on Lawrence Tech. So that was the best case scenario for Lawrence Tech. So now they will get themselves in pretty good field position to start their first drive of the second half.
The return already had brought the football across midfield. You can move that football even further ahead.
You can almost say this is redemption, Evan. Remember how the first half ended?
Yeah.
This is basically almost a gift from God right here, right to the hands of the Blue Devils.
Yeah, that first half ended on a tip pass that was intercepted by Lawrence Tech. They were going to start a drive inside Concordia's 10, but on the return, Lawrence Tech had 2 different penalties, and it was boosted all the way back to the 40-yard line. Now, because of all the Concordia penalties, Lawrence Tech is starting this drive inside the 20.
They've got to convert. One thing that Yvonne Mitchell said, we have got to finish our drives. Too many plays in the red zone. We've had to settle for field goal chances.
And they, they're in the red zone, they're 61%. 13 appearances with 8 of those drives ending in either a touchdown or a field goal. And you say, well, 61%, that's above 50%. That's living good. But the problem comes is they don't get there that often, right? And when they do get there, they do well with it. But they got to really put this one in here and solidify a touchdown or at least a field goal.
Osmond hands, and that is one heck of a tackle. Oh my goodness. Lift and bring down to the ground. This is a form tackle in the finest way possible.
Form tackle, and this is what we call a grown man tackle. They're just going to hand the ball off, a little inside zone with the lead back. DeMonte Bean is going to get under, and you know what they say? The low man wins, and when he lifts up and drives, he throws him back. And that's what they work on in practice, hitting those dummy sheds and just lifting them up and chucking them down. Really good tackle, form tackle, clean tackle by DeMonte Bean.
Poor Keon Sanders, his first carry of the night ended like that. That man deserves a ice bath. They'll try him again. Shedding a tackler here and then running into another one. Casey Roush, the first man making the hit. So here we go, John. You called it a gift from a higher power here. All those penalties setting up Lawrence Tech, but now you're staring down a third down.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they didn't go to Alex Osmond early on within this to try to go to their deep receiver options in Jaden Renberg, Jalen Wallace, and now they're going to bring in Mauricio Jenkins, set him up on that far side in front of the Concordia bench. We'll see what they do. They're not afraid to let Osmond loose on a third down situation like this, especially on a crucial drive.
Pressure coming. It's picked up. Osmond throwing through Robinette's hands. 4th down.
We mentioned that Nick Robinette, he's had some trouble just catching the football. He had a play in the game against Ave Maria a few weeks back. He was wide open. It was going to be an open touchdown for days, and it just went right through his hands. And he definitely want that one back. Definitely wants that one back. And again, Lawrence Tech, at least this is points. This is going to get them back even closer.
Vincent Robinson on to try to make the extra point. Make the PAT, excuse me. Made an extra point earlier tonight. Going for the field goal of 31 yards. Up and good. So, Lawrence Tech does get 3. Not the end of the world. Makes it a 1-score game. But, Grant, I don't think we're speaking out of pocket here up in this booth when we say when you start a drive inside the opponent's 20, you're trying to get 6, not 3.
Yeah. The vision is 6. You always want to end your drives in a kick. They ended in a field goal. You would have preferred an extra point after 6 in that situation. And you're just going to have to capitalize here. You got a couple penalties that put you in really good field position to start off, and you got to find plays that get you 2, 3, 4 yards a pop. That way you can keep the ball moving and find your right targets there. And that was a good throw and a good decision there by Alex Osmond, the quarterback out of Dearborn-Fordson, throwing it just to the boundary. A little hitch route there by Nick Robinette. He started to run before he caught it. You can't do that. You got to catch it, secure it, look it into the tuck, and then turn upfield. And he would have had a good amount of yards to run there. But nonetheless, they come down, and they kick a field goal. They get it within a 1-score game, and they're very much alive in this contest.
Hopefully they can keep the momentum going because they can rely on their kicking staff any time, whether it's Dixon or whether it's Robeson with the field goals. They've got an elite kicking staff here.
Robeson knocks in that field goal of 31 yards. Back to a 7-point game. Lawrence Tech led it 7-0. Then Concordia scored 17 in a row. And now LTU stops the bleeding with those 3 points. Carter Dixon back in the field to kick it away. Sophomore from Fort Wayne. Homestead High School. As you all know, Indiana has such a rich tradition in NAIA football. Dixon's kick flying in the air and caught near the 15. Concordia has a chance for a return. There are multiple flags again. This is a huge return for Concordia. It may go to the house, but I don't think it's going to count. That is the second time tonight we have had someone take a kickoff back for a touchdown, and then they look back and see flags.
Yeah, Gabe Whitmore on the return. First it was Lawrence Tech on the opening kickoff, and then that was brought back, and then they went down and scored on their opening drive. So hopefully the luck will be on the side of the Cardinals this time around, as those two flags are going to bring everything back.
All right, let's get the official calls here. Grant, you've played in a lot of football games. You've watched a lot of football games. When's the last time you saw a football game with 16 accepted penalties in the first 2.5 quarters?
Oh, man, I don't know if I've ever been a part of something like this. I mean, this is extraordinary, and not for the right reasons.
And when was the last time you saw 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns all brought back via penalties?
What's today's date?
Today is October the 7th.
So that would be the first time, yeah.
Yep. I might go play the lottery tonight. That's just how I'm feeling.
Powerball's up to over $1 billion, so your chances are pretty high.
There are also several casinos within short driving distance of Southfield, Michigan. This is a big run for Concordia with a hard hit at the end of the play. That's a first down run for Stewart, and there was some hard contact from McDonald in the secondary at the end of the play.
Yeah, Zevion McDonald making the stop on this one because give Stewart the chance. He will fly, and right there, leading with the shoulder, and good form right there, just making sure it was shoulder to shoulder.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Gets it to Stewart. Good gain, far side. We have a flag.
This one will be interesting. That's Michael White. Discussion with the official. This might be going against Lawrence Tech. This might be actually going the other way.
And it's just as much as it seems like, Lawrence Tech's hurting themselves, Concordia is jumping in this pile too, and saying, hey, we'll commit some penalties as well. They had a really good play on the edge, got really good blocking, but it looks like that one's gonna hurt Concordia. And you can see some banter going back on both sides. It seems as if the tempers are high, and when one team makes a play, the other team kind of puts it in the other one's face, and it's just honestly a game of who makes the worst penalty at this point.
And John Goble mentioned it, that there was a lot of chippiness in that tent of Concordia, and the head coach over there, Schumacher, he was not really happy with it. He wants his guys to play calm, cool, and collected, and sink and go for Avon Mitchell because all the excitement and all the chippiness has gotten themselves in trouble with the 8 penalties that they committed in the first half. So everybody, they just got to cool down, enjoy the cold weather with the wind. That'll all cool you off.
It's not warm tonight, but I went for a little stroll at halftime. I was comfortable. I was feeling good. Got the blood flowing. First down, a long way to go for Concordia. Brooks on the keep. Good decision. And he ducks out of bounds without taking contact. Still, though, Grant, nice job here pulling it out on the read.
Yeah, really good job. He's just reading the defensive end, Devin Isaac, and Devin Isaac gets caught inside. Doesn't come upfield with nice, calm shoulders. You're taught to go surf it, right? You kind of come in with balanced feet, ready for that quarterback to give it, and once he gives it, you then go chase it. He gets caught, in the mesh right there. Really good pull by, Gavin Brooks. Got the whole defensive linebackers all flowed for the run, and he took it and got a good gain on first down there.
Got back across that original line of scrimmage. Second down, 9 after the gain of 11. Give Carpenter. Could not get away from the tackle in the open field by Snyder. Yes, I know, we have another flag. We almost made it 2 plays without a flag.
Exactly. This is going to be another hold on Concordia, but another great open field tackle. That time it was Brody Snyder. Snyder's come onto the scene, joining that D-line, and he's been making play after play, just making stops after stops. So Lawrence Tech, the defense has been bailed out by a couple of penalties, especially on that kickoff return. So hopefully they can keep advantage of it and hold them to the distance, because remember, Gavin Brooks, he had a nice run, cutting that distance in half, setting up for a better second down. But now they find themselves back deep again on second down play.
Grant, we can make jokes about how many flags there are in this game, but seriously, there's no flow to it because of the flags. How as a player can you fight through the fact that there's a flag on every other play right now?
you're taught to do your job and hope that the rest of the 10 men on the field do their job. And you got to just collectively, as a group here, bring a little leadership yourself, right? You got to bring it upon the team and yourself, and you kind of coach the guys out there, and do your best to do your job, and hopefully your teammates will do the same.
Brooks throwing a completion. Oh, what a gorgeous pass and an even better catch. Parker Graham, the reception.
Yeah, Graham, he's normally at the running back slot, but still keeping the play alive is Brooks. It rolls out to his right, and he's able to get it off and just, I think Graham might have gone away with a little shove right there, but he really earned that catch right there in his first catch, really his first play of the day.
Concordia in business again. Carpenter on the carry. Almost slipped that tackle, but Andrew Perkins held on for dear life.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, guys, we got an LTU guy down, middle of the field, clutching his ankle.
Yeah, not a good sign. First Lawrence Tech player down, but still Andrew Perkins with the tackle. And Yvonne Mitchell said that Perkins, he is their leading tackler, their best tackler, if not at that. And even though that Carpenter was leading the way, he was really trying to get that stiff arm out there. Perkins, he just held on for dear life and brought him down.
Yeah, and they were running a little inside zone there. The running back really hit the hole fast. They got level, blockers on the linebackers. That's why Perkins came in so fast and did his job there for the touchdown saving tackle.
Injury timeout on the field, and we'll take it with them. We're back to Lawrence Tech after this break.
Chevy Silverado has what it takes to do it all. With a TurboMax engine and a 13.4-inch diagonal touchscreen. Any truck can help you make a living. This one helps you build a life. Chevy Silverado.
Or GM employees with a current eligible lease can get this Silverado for $299 a month. Chevy drives the Motor City. Visit ChevyDetroit.com.
From our very first breath, curiosity is why we question everything. Through barrages of whys and how comes, it now needs the tools to will its vision into existence. Tools that allow curiosity to blur the line between technology and magic. Be curious. Make magic. The College of Arts and Sciences at Lawrence Technological University.
At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Leeboy, Sonnebogen, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
A new tradition in the state of Michigan, the MSFA Michigan State Championship Trophy up for grabs. Now, this is the team in Michigan with the most wins is going to take home this trophy, have it year after year. I mean, what kind of rivalry is this going to make within the state?
I love that they're doing this. We have 4 teams in the NAIA here in Michigan. It's a great opportunity for all of our high school athletes here in Michigan and in the Midwest as we're watching out for the play behind us. But I love what they're doing. Obviously, it takes some winning and some losing for it to become a real rivalry here. So, but I think it's a great opportunity for these schools to get after it, and they are chippy today. I can say that much.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're looking forward to seeing those new rivalries in the state of Michigan. Evan, back to you guys.
Thanks, guys. Stay warm down there. And that is a unique initiative because as you follow NAIA football, there's such a stranglehold, it feels like, in the state of Indiana and all those great teams they have within this little pocket in the Midwest. But a lot of talent popping up here in the greater Metro Detroit area. Got a 3rd down and 2 here for Concordia, trying to keep the drive alive. They'll give it up the middle. And oh boy, I don't know if they got it. Carpenter up the middle, he's short, and now Concordia a decision to make on what's going to be a 4th down short.
Yeah, and that was Andrew Perkins again, their top tackler. He is able to stop that drive, and they're going to go quick formation right here. And they're going to bring in their extra quarterback.
Now, this is Ty Norgren, who they tried to get on the field last drive, but Lawrence Tech called a timeout. And now they call another timeout, which means down by a touchdown with just under 6 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter, Lawrence Tech has 1 timeout left.
And that's a tough situation to be in. You want to get your right personnel on the field. It's fourth and you got to have it. Just a few feet there, and then they run on the heavy package, right? And the offense is ready. They got those guys. Hey, we're gonna go heavy personnel right now. Get ready to go. Boom! They send them in. Lawrence Tech's kind of dabbling around trying to figure out what they're gonna send in. And by the time they get to the line of scrimmage, they're ready to snap the ball. And Coach Avant Mitchell has no choice but to burn a timeout. As unfortunate as it is, they need those timeouts late in this game, but it could be the difference between them getting a continued drive here or getting the right personnel on the field and getting a stop. So it's as a head coach, you got to make that decision. Hey, we do need to get this right defense on the field, but you hate to burn it. Your second timeout here early, midway through the third.
No, and also it's so easy for Avant Mitchell to call these timeouts because he's been a defensive coordinator for most of his coaching career, and now him in the head coaching spot.
We got a flag. Concordia thinks it should be on LTU. There was movement all over the place before the play.
Yep, and they're just shifting. I mean, and they're doing a little bit of a twirl to it, so it looks different. And they're just going to get Derek Augers that kind of attacked the edge, and unfortunately, the heavy personnel wasn't even needed. They got the first down on Lawrence Tech's own fault there.
So, after Lawrence Tech calls their second timeout of the second half to try to get the proper personnel in for a fourth down and short, Concordia gets Lawrence Tech to jump offside, and it's a first down anyway.
Yep, that's when the Concordia coaching staff gives each other a little high five, say, hey, that worked. We didn't even have to run a play there, and we got them to use the timeout.
So the drive continues for Concordia, and Brooks is throwing. Down the field. Incomplete. He missed a gainer.
And that's a good ball there by Gavin Brooks, When you're running go routes, you rarely want to inside release it. You're getting man coverage down at the bottom of the field. Seeger to Gainer going against number 13, John Webster. Inside released it, but then that messes up the trajectory and it messes up the angle in which you're supposed to get back. You're supposed to get back on top, get back to about 3 to 4 yards from that sideline because that ball is going to land on your outside shoulder. So if he could have that one back, I'd coach him up and tell him, hey, inside release, fake, and then get back outside and go catch that go route for a touchdown.
We'll keep it on the ground with Carpenter. He slipped through a crack, kept on going, and got the first down. Inside the 15. Big burst for James right here.
No, definitely. Carpenter's a high snap right there and able to get it down. And Carpenter just reads the pack. See Matt Plaga, he was able to spin out, but good read with the feet. And then took two defenders to bring him down, Perkins and Akers right there.
Moving quickly. Brooks floating. Incomplete. Hoping for one of his big targets in the back of the end zone, but he overshot his man. That is DeVries, number 87, incomplete. And a second down coming up.
That's a good job there. I mean, when you're Gavin Brooks and you guys have been rolling well, you throw a little opportunity ball, just a bit too far, but he put it in the right location.
First time they've really done deep huddle on their offense right here. They've been showing a lot of no huddle, just going, keeping going, but now they're really run down the play clock.
5 in the play clock for Concordia. Just got it off. Brooks keeps, throws, a touchdown. They got him that time. DeVries holds it in, and the 2-score lead restored for Concordia.
Concordia, they come back to the RPO. They scored an RPO earlier in the game. That was Lawrence Tech. But here Concordia's going to take a playbook out of Lawrence Tech. They're going to go RPO. It's a power read to the front side. If the give read's there, he gives it. But he takes it and throws it. Crosses the cornerback's face. That's Harmon DeVries, who he just tried to throw the ball to. Gives him another chance to make a play. He does. Puts it low on the front end line. And Harmon DeVries goes and makes a big touchdown grab for Concordia there.
At times tonight, it's been a sluggish night for Concordia. But so far in the second half, the offense has looked excellent. 2 drives, 2 touchdowns, and this is the largest lead of the night for the road team.
No, definitely. This is what they wanted to do. We talked about talent out of the Metro Detroit area. You can also count the talent out of the greater Ann Arbor area because they know definitely how to throw it down, not being that far away from the campus of the University of Michigan. So they come to play. If you're from Ann Arbor, you know how to play hard, especially the Jim Harbaugh way. But no, on that drive, they barely got it off even before the play clock went down. I saw double zeros on the field, and then the ball was snapped. So they must have gotten away with one there, but they made the best of it.
And just to talk about that route again, too, by Harmon DeVries, really good job by him crossing that defender's face. He got an inside release, and that's what you want to do when you're running anything in cutting, right? You want to get inside leverage. That way you can lean and then shake him to the inside and leave him on your outside. Does a really good job there. Comes flat, too. That's an underrated aspect of route running, coming flat and staying positive for the quarterback to give him a nice area to throw the ball, and it couldn't have been an easier throw and catch there right on the front end line of the end zone there.
Robinson's been a busy man all night. He's kicking it away again. Lawrence Tech's had a couple of good returns, so this one popped up. They're trying to avoid it. Oh, boy. Almost still worked out. That was Sanders on the return, stumbling across the 40-yard line. And once again, Lawrence Tech has a really good starting field position.
Yeah, Concordia, they were trying to do what Lawrence Tech was trying to do, the little chip shots, and trying to hope for either a fumble or a mishap on the catch. And that time, Lawrence Tech was able to secure it by Sanders, trying to get a good enough return out of it. And this is pretty good field position to start their second drive.
A lot of time to go. 5 minutes still remaining in this third quarter. But Concordia has turned up the heat, largest lead of the night. And Lawrence Tech only one timeout. So each drive for Concordia, the rest of the way, also turns into, let's try to kill some clock. And we got to delay a game on Lawrence Tech.
Well, they definitely killed the clock all right there, Evan. And you can almost say that was pretty much coming because they were slowly just working their way out into the field. No sense of urgency, really. Now you're down by 2 scores. All that energy is almost gone at this point that they had at the beginning of the game. They've got to find it deep within, and they got to find it fast.
Osmond back on the field. Guys on his right and left. The quarterback fakes. Rolls away from pressure and throws it into the ground. Pressure was coming from behind, and he had to throw it at the feet of Sanders.
I'd like to see him get a little bit outside of the pocket. If he's going to roll, get it and rolling, man. You understand that backside on roll passes are kind of, you got to get out of the pocket. You got pressure coming from the backside there. He has to have a little bit of more awareness on the play. And it looks like he's going to be taking one on the sideline this next rep. Hopefully he's okay.
This is very interesting because the other 2 quarterbacks, Caleb Gardner and Ricardo Marble Jr., they're not been suited up for tonight's game. They've been relied on early on, and then Gardner went out after week 1. So it's going to be Jalen Wallace coming in at quarterback.
Down the depth chart they go. They keep it on the ground with Tabert. All things considered, that's not the end of the world, that play. Gets them back to the original line of scrimmage. And good news for LTU. Osmond back on the field, and Jalen Wallace's chance to play quarterback, Grant. Last one snap.
Got a good handoff, though. Those are underappreciated aspects of the game. You work handoffs in practice with, the center, the snap exchange, and then you work with your running backs and individual. And you got to imagine maybe they had a plan of attack for an emergency situation there because he did look very natural handing that ball off.
Osmond back on the field, and you'd have to think he's throwing here on 3rd down 10.
And the pressure's coming. He's got to understand that he's got to have an answer here quick.
The pressure backs off. Osmond stepping up. He's got a ton of time, and he throws to Robinette, who makes the catch this time, loses the football, and no signal. Concordia football. Carey fell on it.
Yep, and it just a really good job here stepping up in the pocket. The pressure backed off. He had time to throw it. Finds a curl route, Nick Robinette, and he does a great job of catching it and turning upfield. But the guy that gets the fumble out is always the guy you don't see. You got to anticipate that there's going to be a guy behind you. He needs to speed up there. And Casey Roche with the forced fumble there, and a good job of really getting off the field if you're Concordia, getting a stop. And that's devastating if you're Lawrence Tech. I mean, you're about to convert on that 3rd down. Things are looking good. And then, of course, the fumble bug comes there. But Concordia with a great turnover.
And poor Nick Robinette on the last 2 plays is living a wide receiver's worst nightmare. Brooks off play action. They roll him to the right. He's looking downfield and throwing incomplete. Second out. Last 2 plays for Nick Robinette. 2 drives ago. He's open. Would have been a first down. Goes through his hands. On this drive, he makes the catch, slips a tackle. He's got a first down, and then it's stripped from behind. Grant, you know this a lot better than I do. As a wide receiver, he's got to be on that sidelines thinking, what more in the world could go wrong?
Yeah, it's pretty devastating, just knowing that you had opportunities to make plays, and it looked like you were going to, and then you kind of just let the team down a little bit there. But, it's something that Nick Robinette's been battling through this season, and Coach Avant Mitchell went right up to him after that play to kind of console him and give instill some confidence back in him, because they need him, man. He's a speedster, and when he can make plays happen, he does do a really good job for them on the perimeter.
All right, John, here we go. Third down coming up for Concordia, and considering the way this third quarter has gone with Concordia grabbing a hold of this game, monster play for LTU.
It is a monster play, and the defense has come up with some huge drives before in this stadium and able to keep things closer than what they are. So we will see what's in store, because they definitely know how to kill some energy when it's definitely needed.
Snap to Brooks. Rolling again. Looking downfield. He threw high. Tried to find his brother Bailey. Missed him. And Lawrence Tech gets off the field when they needed it in the worst way.
Yep. And Concordia had the right concept there. They're running a sail concept to the field. Go route by number 1 receiver, and then the number 2 receiver just runs a 10 to 15 yard out. And when they're in that cover 4, that quarters look, that go route takes the cornerback out of the picture, and then you're one-on-one with the safety running an out route with leverage in your favor. Right call. Just Gavin Brooks again is just off the mark a little bit on that throw.
Snap and a good punt. Roush sends it away with that left foot. Hops to the right. Now rolls a little further and will die at the 13. I'm sitting up here thinking, guys, and I think you'd have to agree with me here. We live in a world of college football where the games take a long time. There's just a fact of the matter. And I know at the NAIA level we don't have quite as many bills to pay as maybe that Michigan football broadcast does tonight. But the fact remains that this ball game has taken a while. Over 2.5 hours. There's been flags. There's been timeouts, yada, yada, yada. So it can get lost in the wash if you're Lawrence Tech. You got a lot of time, man. Just under 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. This is a 2-score game. Grant, if you're that offense walking on the field, you got some time, but now's the time to make it happen.
Yep, you got time, but you don't have time to waste. You got to make every possession, every drive, every catch, every run count, because you're battling the clock right now.
This is Davidson on the run. It's been a good recipe for them tonight. Look at him keep on going. C.J. Davidson churning the legs. They couldn't even get him down. Mark him down on forward progress and a Lawrence Tech first down.
Yeah, Davidson only had 11 carries in that first half, went for 44 yards in that first half. I think he needs to get going, and this is the first time we've seen him on a sequence in the second half. He's going to be crucial if they're going to get anywhere closer to this.
Good start to the drive for Lawrence Tech, which hasn't scored a touchdown since the first drive of the game. Right back to Davidson. And this time, just a yard.
And just a good job there by the D-line. I'm really just stretching it, not giving them any lanes to go. When that guy's trying to make a cut and you're playing your gaps with, sound fundamentals and sound technique, that running back has to chop his feet and kind of slow down in the hole, and that's what you want him to do. Let the linebackers come and clean up the play. Really technique, really fundamentally sound there on defense from Concordia.
Coming up on 1.5 minutes to go in the third quarter. This half started with Concordia up 10-7. And now they stretch the lead to a couple of scores. On the ground again. And room again. This time it's Devon Bentley. Oh, look at him go. Devon Bentley into Concordia territory. A big gainer and move the sticks.
A really big gain there. And when you see 2 high safeties, you should be licking your chops to run the ball. And Devon Bentley has just been a spark in this offense when he touches that ball. And he's running with one hand right now. Look at that claw. Just cutting, driving, and getting all upfield. Really good job. And way to get this ball into Concordia territory.
They're going to go no-huddle offense. They want to try to get one play off, or at least a couple more, as the clock's under a minute left in this third quarter.
The rain starts to fall again. On the ground again. Running right. Davidson won't go down. A lot of ground attack on this drive. And it's working out so far for LTU. That's a solid gain on first down.
And C.J. Davidson has had some really, some milestones marks this season. For St. Francis, Illinois had, one of his best games rushing for 108 yards. In that same game, he also had a 76-yard run play on one play. So they could use some of that magic right here, right now.
Lawrence Tech doesn't have to snap it again in the third quarter if they don't want to. One last play in the third. It's Davidson running left. Spinning and diving up to the 40, which sets up a third down for LTU as we start the fourth. Home team alive on homecoming, playing one of the hotter teams in NAIA football, but Concordia leading by 2 scores and trying to get a defensive stop as we start the fourth after this.
Because every athlete deserves to be treated like a pro. Henry Ford Sports Medicine.
From our very first breath, curiosity is why we question everything. Through barrages of whys and how comes, it now needs the tools to will its vision into existence. Tools that allow curiosity to blur the line between technology and magic. Be curious. Make magic. The College of Engineering at Lawrence Technological University.
At Alto Equipment, we know when it comes to getting your job completed on budget and on schedule, uptime matters. Alto Equipment has partnered with the biggest names in construction, including Volvo, Leeboy, Sonnebogen, Avant, ASV, and more to provide the state of Michigan with industry-leading service and support. Alto Equipment services all makes and models, and their technicians are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Do you have a big project? Alta Rents has you covered with the most diverse rental fleet in Michigan. Give them a call at 844-GO-TO-ALTA today.
This is the type of football game only a true Midwesterner could love. A lot of flags. A lot of penalties. Rain, wind, low-scoring game. I love it. Let's start the fourth. Big play here for LTU. Third down. Osman with a flag. This is a free play, so he throws an interception, but Concordia jumped. So it's going to be a free first down.
No, that's just classic move right there by Alex Osman and by any other quarterback. Realizing you got a free play, you just throw it up for grabs and over one of your receivers, and he goes to his go-to in Jaden Renbert. He was in double coverage, so the result is an interception, but Lawrence Tech, they get the penalty and the yardage to get a first down.
You know, I don't want to bring up his name because he broke my heart for like a decade. But, Grant, you know the quarterback I'm thinking of who made a living on that play, right? Free play, jump, snap, throw a touchdown.
And we had that same play, and it was called Packer, 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 Packer. And when it happened, that's what we would yell, and everyone would just run go routes. And I know you don't like hearing that, but Aaron Rodgers is hands down top 3 quarterbacks at making that play successful. I mean, he lives on it. And when he doesn't get it, when the refs call the play short and they say, no, we're not going to let you throw it, he gets furious. So, yes, I'm right on par with you there, brother. And I'm not lying. We called it Packer in our Michigan offense.
I believe you. Mm-hmm. I believe you. It just doesn't have to make me happy, you know.
J.U. Chesson, my freshman year at Indiana, that game went to 4 overtimes. First quarter, second quarter, we scored on like a 50-yard touchdown off that play. Jake Rudock to J.U. Chesson there, and I've always wondered why most teams don't. Some teams don't do it, and some teams do. I think it's a free play. Why not take a shot?
Take all the chances you can get, especially at any point in a game like this.
First down. Give Lawrence Tech left side. Davidson brought down a bit awkwardly. And wanted a flag, but they're not going to get it. And now, a lineman for LTU slow to get up. Let's get another look.
Yeah, he was definitely brought down hard. Right there, all by the jersey, almost by the horse collar right there. And they didn't give him that penalty right there.
It's Marvitas Dupree right there on the tackle, number 7 for them. Good to see him back in the game. He was down earlier. He's back up, making hard tackles. And that's not easy. When you grab a guy by the jersey, that shows brute strength. Really good job by Marvitas Dupree.
Davidson Wright got free of one guy and then ran into a stone wall. If you've been watching this game all night with us, how can you not be impressed with the way that Liam Carey, number 36, plays football for Concordia, man?
Yeah, Liam Carey is flying around. DeMonte Bean almost had the tackle right at the line of scrimmage, but C.J. Davison has a beautiful jump cut there and then meets Liam Carey in the hole. Just classic football style, running back, linebacker, Oklahoma, who wants it more, and it just became just a standstill traffic jam there. Liam Carey brought him down. For a decent gain there, it's third down and medium. They can live in this range.
And you wonder if it's 4-down territory considering the score. They're going to run it. Davidson left, pushed out of bounds. Looking around, wondering if there's another flag. Only gained a yard. John, that does feel like the type of play where Lawrence Tech was trying to get a little bit closer for the 4th down, but they didn't gain very much on that play.
No, they didn't, and this probably will be 4th down territory because the offense is not coming up. Not coming off the field. And we've seen it a few times in which they'll go deep on these 4th down plays, basically go for it all. There was definitely a catch back in the Ave Maria game to Jaden Rember. It was 4th down and 2. Instead of trying to run it with Davidson to get the yards, they went for it all, and Rember came in with a huge grab. So expect him to go airborne here.
Pivotal play in the 4th. Osmond rolling on 4th down. He gets it out. It's caught by Rembert, and he's tackled right away. Kelly Matthews wasn't letting him go anywhere.
Yep, and they're just going to try to run a little flat route here, a little speed out. It's a man coverage. They bring in the house. You don't have enough guys to block them, so you got to get the ball out quick. Kelly Matthews really gets to the ball, really good closing speed there, and just makes a hit that Jaden Rambert couldn't get off of. And just short of the sticks, you got to get your depth there. They tried to run a little pick route, but Kelly Matthews made the play.
And we have unsportsmanlike conduct after the play on Concordia, so that's not going to help. Guys, we often say week 1 of a football season, college, high school, pro, doesn't matter. There's a lot of flags, right? This game has felt like that. And no matter who wins, Grant, you know this from your high level of football and all the tape sessions, the thing that crushes coaches and players is the unforced errors. With as many of unsportsmanlike and silly penalties, quote unquote, for both of these teams, it's going to be a rough film session.
Yeah, and these are the film sessions that I'd never like to be a part of. A couple plays come up and you're making mistakes, but there was never times in the game where I was making this many bonehead plays. If you're Lawrence Tech, you really got to sharpen it up here and try to put on for your team and in your community right now, because right now you're playing ill-advised football and it's not helping your team.
Concordia back on the field. And running up the middle with room. This is one of the best of the night for James Carpenter. Into the secondary he goes. Into Lawrence Tech territory. Backpedaling his way near the 45-yard line.
And that thing opened up like the Red Sea. James Carpenter fell right off the table. When this thing rolls right off the table, the lineman gets a good block on Brody Schneider there and just gets through the hole, running full speed. Chris Broaden tries to get a strip there. I'd like to see him make a tackle attempt, but James Carpenter with a really big play.
Swing it back to him, cutting across the grain, finding a little more real estate, and then he's wrapped up right around the 40-yard line.
And they go right back to him. A little swing pass, trying to get him out leverage, trying to get outside the defense's contain. It looks like it's going to be tackled for a short gain, but then he cuts back, jukes, and it retraces field there, and it makes it a very short down and obtainable.
Surprised on that first down. When no huddle offense, and then on the second down, they decided to take their time. They had Lawrence Tech on their heels for a bit after that quick gain of 5.
Corners over, man coverage here. Not sure if they'll take a shot, but they have the opportunity to get a one-on-one matchup.
This is Stewart. First down Concordia, and escorted out of bounds across the 35. A lot of runs that have been successful tonight for Brandon Stewart.
Yep. And they're just doing, this is a game plan play here. They're gonna try to attract corners over with the personnel there. It's 2 tight ends and 2 receivers and 1 running back. That's 12 personnel there. And when they know they go receivers over, they do a slot formation where both the receivers are on the same side, they're gonna get a corners over type of coverage, which is man coverage, and that leaves that backside boundary unobtained. Right, there's a safety sitting at about 7 yards, and if you can get a blocker on him, you got numbers, and that's what they did there. Their game plan in Lawrence Tech really well in that formation, and they're going to go to it again, and they're going corners over as well.
Stewart again, and he tripped in the hole. Just 1 yard on the play. So now, guys, we see as well the other side of this coin, right? Lawrence Tech only has the 1 timeout, and Concordia, of course, wants to score 1 more time, but also, John, they want to kill some time on this drive.
No, they definitely want to kill some time. And for Yvonne Mitchell, one of his key wins to any game is win the time of possession. And they did so in the first half, but it was all because of the mistakes in which added more time onto their drives. So, and a few for Concordia here, but they definitely want to take more time in order to seal this one.
Brooks pumps, rolls, and gets out of bounds. 3rd down on the way.
A little bit of a miscommunication there. Parker Graham's out there, number 1 at the receiver spot. The lone receiver there to the boundary. And Gavin Brooks drops back, and he's looking for him in the boundary. But Parker Graham just comes up, and he's up there blocking the corner. Gavin Brooks just has to eat that one and run out of bounds.
3rd down, 8. Does the Concordia drive continue, or does Lawrence Tech's defense stiffen? DeGainer in motion. They look his direction and throw low to him. Incomplete.
That's another gift right there by Gavin Brooks. We saw it on the last drive, and probably the drive before they scored the touchdown. The drive ended on a Gavin Brooks incomplete pass. So that time, it was all the space in the world. You had all the time to really set your feet and makes a solid, simple throw, and just rushed it. And knowing that you had the 2-score lead, you have time, you just got to have more feel and comfort.
Yeah, and I will say I did see something on that one too. They've been running that bubble there to Seeger DeGainer, and it's been working. And then also, I think he was trying to kind of hold it a little bit to see if those linebackers would run out so he could hit a slant behind it. I think he was trying to hit a slant in that one, and then held it, rushed the throw, and had to dirt that one.
Well, bad news for Lawrence Tech. They just roughed the punter. Roush got crushed as the punt went into the end zone.
Yeah, they're going to get Michael White. He went out. He was injured for a bit, and he got tripped up trying to potentially block that and could not stop his momentum. He went right into Roush. So that's just another unfortunate penalty. That time, it wasn't really self-inflicted. It's just basically bad place, wrong place at the wrong time.
They actually called running into the kicker. Here's the look. Didn't look like he got pushed into him.
Yep, got pushed into him. But ref sees that guy falling, sees that helmet hit that leg of the kicker. He's going to call that one, especially on a night like tonight. When these flags are flying, the ref's going to pull that one.
Oh, by the way, this allows Concordia's offense to come back on the field. This is going to be a 4th down and 3. Brooks gives. Carpenter runs, leaning ahead. He didn't get it. Lawrence Tech's defense gets the stop, and they're alive with 9:12 to go.
Yeah, and Dante Ben, one of the leaders of that defense, he was first all over it, and then all the recruits came in. Perkins and Snyder, they just all contributed to that one crucial tackle to get the offense back on.
This has been a bit of a war of attrition.
Well, we can say war of attrition, but just a flat-out war, because Concordia and Lawrence Tech, this is not just an NAI matchup. This is not just a Mid-States Football Association matchup. This is a Wolverine Hoosier Athletic Conference matchup. I know, I'm an alumni and a former baseball player. I was always looking forward to these matchups against Concordia because every time they always brought their games.
Osmond off the long fake, got a man open. juggled it. Tabert fighting for that catch. On the way down, they rule a catch and a fumble. Concordia says they've got it. So does Lawrence Tech. Somebody's got to have the ball.
I think it's going to come down to, did he have possession? Is it a catch? I got to imagine the Stripes are running that one over in between each other.
Yeah, so let's wait and see what the call is, and then let's get a look. Because that is the crux of the call. Did Tabert ever actually have the ball? And they rule Concordia football.
Yeah, and we'll see here. It's just a little delay pass. Alex Osmond's going to really hold the fake, try to draw those linebackers in. It just throws a little wide delay seam, and it's just going to be a catch. It looks like 1 step, 2 steps, and if we can't see the ball really, but if it's in his belly right now, it got ripped out, and it looks like that one might actually be a decent call there. 2 steps is an athletic movement as a receiver, which means possession. And then Concordia defense just does a fantastic job of playing the man and the ball. Once you got him held up, go take that ball out.
The last 2 drives for Lawrence Tech have ended in catch, fumble, recovery. Stretch run to Gaynor. Trying to get the edge. He is lassoed down, wrangled down. Perkins got him on the edge.
And Perkins is fed up. He wants this offense to get on the field and just do something, man. He's flying around making tackles, and you can tell just the frustration's built up. He went high on that tackle. Still a clean tackle. Got around the shoulder, right above the shoulder, right under the helmet. Didn't pull on the back of it and didn't pull the face mask. He flies around, man. I had 6 tackles last week versus Marion with an interception as well. Really, they call him the quarterback of that defense.
Loss of 1 on the play after Perkins was flying around on the play. Brooks keeps and gets out of bounds.
Second time we've seen Brooks do that exact same play, catch the linebackers coming in, and is able to get that outside route. They got Derek Agers again. And it wasn't really a big game, but it's still movement forward for the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm. And Derek Agers, he's a good player for them. But when you're an unblocked D lineman, sometimes your tendencies are just to run at the ball, right? You're like, oh, I'm unblocked. What am I going to do now? I'm going to go make a play. But then it's a read option, and that quarterback's got eyes on you all day. He sees you crash hard for the ball carrier, and he just pulls it and gets the edge.
Another pivotal play for what's got to be a tired Lawrence Tech defense. Brooks throws. DeVries catches. Tackled shy of the first down. He had a touchdown earlier in this half. Tackled here. And again, Concordia has to make a decision. Looks like the early indication is their punt.
And a note that I think we kind of all just went over was number 87, the DeVries, the receiver there. He's standing at 6'7", man. That's a tall target. And he's had a good game so far. Found the end zone earlier on that good dig route. And it looks like the offense is going to punt here and try to pin Lawrence Tech deep.
Got to keep their heads up. On the last punt attempt, they got called for the roughing the kicker.
This time the punter is not touched, and Roush set it immediately out of bounds. This ball spotted all the way up at the Lawrence Tech 22. All right, 6:51 to go. Lawrence Tech just the 1 timeout. So there are multiple layers to this, right? Obviously, they got to score a touchdown or the hopes of a comeback victory here are dwindling. But also, Grant, I'd have to think you got to score quickly enough where that 1 timeout doesn't kill you. So, of course, you're trying to score first play. What's the last case scenario in which you got to score really by this point on the clock to have a chance if Concordia ends up getting the ball back?
You want to try to score. You want to make this a 2-minute drill right now. You want to kind of have that awareness that we have just under 7 minutes, but you got to take into consideration that if you do score, Concordia is going to try to drain that clock. So you want to leave as much time for your defense to get a stop if you do score here.
Osmond throwing on the first play, and it's juggled and caught by Gavin Mesman. His first catch of the day. Big-bodied tight end fighting up to the 27.
Yeah, it's about time we see Mr. Mesman come in. We have not seen Lawrence Tech use a lot of their tight ends because they have got a variety, and Mesman's one of them at the 6'6", 6'7" frame. So those are just chunk yards, but yet it's positive yardage. They're moving everything forward, and that's just what they need for a good start to the drive.
Gavin's younger brother, Dylan, a great tight end on Saline, one of the best high school football teams in Michigan. Dylan, Gavin's brother, is committed to go play at Louisville. So remember that last name. Davidson on the run. Oh, this will work. First down and more, Lawrence Tech. Look at him cut inside and drag a tackler inside the 40.
That's a really good tackle there by Kobe Meshmer. Meshmer, excuse me. But they just get inside. They run the run to the right side, a little outside zone. And then C.J. Davison, the senior tailback, does a fantastic job of getting as many yards as he can and trying to cut back for green grass there. But again, the touchdown-saving tackle by Kobe Meshmer might go unnoticed here, but that's huge in that aspect.
Under 5.5 to go. Lawrence Tech on the move. Right back on the ground. Success again. Bentley held onto the football. Tackled just shy of the 20.
We see the run game. This is what the huge key that for Lawrence Tech coming to this matchup. And we see Bentley with the one arm. And we're going to see they're going to try to strip this out with the man claw. And that is his free hand. He's hold on to that. Vice grip. And just able to move everything forward for another set of downs.
Bentley in motion. They fake it to Davidson. Osmond, down he goes. Pressure coming. Cagle got to him. David's been all over the field tonight.
And that's just part of the growing pains. A true freshman in there in crucial situations has been put in the fire due to injuries. You got to understand, though, with no time left in this game, just approaching the 4-minute mark, when there's nothing there, get outside the tackle box and let that thing fly out of bounds. Live to see another down. You can't afford to take a sack in that situation.
Osmond rolling and throwing, completed to Wallace, and he's pushed out of bounds as he gets inside the 15. They do rule that the clock's got to keep on moving.
Yeah, they do, and he's able to regain himself after that one play for the sack. And right there, Wallace in a lot of open space. Wallace is a great receiver like that, in which he's able to find it, but just a good tackle in field to be able to keep the clock rolling for Concordia.
3rd down 2. Give Davidson. Lawrence Tech, 1st down. Clock continues to move.
And I'm looking at Jalen Wallace right now. He's looking at the coach saying, he's giving a signal, which it means it's a pass concept. They have signals for different concepts, and he's saying, Coach, we're in man coverage. We got to throw down the field. Give me a shot here. He wants that matchup. They're going man coverage down here in this red zone, so there is opportunities to give someone an opportunity ball.
They actually ruled him short of the 1st down. Looked live like he'd get it, but he's short. So this, for all intents and purposes, your ball game. It's 4th down inches. Sanders is into the game. Osmond going to throw, and it's incomplete.
We have seen this. We've seen them do this on 4th down in shorts. They try to go for the receivers, and whether it's long or short, they've been having a strong running game. They should have stuck with that. If they marked Davison short of the 1st down, they should have kept him and just put from behind, kind of like the city of brotherly shoves, just try to move himself forward in order to set another downs.
Yep. And just, the run game had been working to that point, right? You need 1 yard there, not even a yard, half a yard. I would have considered maybe throwing an RPO on there. If you get a good throw look, give it. But then if you get a run look, take it. C.J. Davidson has been tearing up this last drive for them. Unfortunate series of events there for Lawrence Tech.
So Brooks will give, and Stewart will run. I'd have to imagine there's a lot of runs coming on this drive. Short gain. Did you just try to quote Lemony Snicket in the series of unfortunate events?
Now that you say that, it sounds like I did there. But that's a great movie, though, and a great series of books there. Jim Carrey, just a fantastic job of playing that character. What was his name?
Do you remember?
I don't know.
I put you on the spot there.
I never actually saw those.
Oh, okay.
No, I remember it, yeah.
I read maybe one in my day, but I always loved picking them up from the bookstore because they used to creep me out when I was a little kid. I was like, oh, I want to read this. Like, he scares me, So I found that fun. But that was a good series there.
If you were wondering if Grant and I are 20-somethings, we did a high school game together last night, and we spent like 5 minutes talking about High School Musical. That's a nice tackle for Lawrence Tech, and you wonder when they burned that last time out. So yesterday we talked about High School Musical. Today we're talking about Lemony Snicket and his series of unfortunate events. What else do we need to check off the bingo board for kids who grew up in who were born in the mid-'90s? What do you think?
That's a good question. I guess time will tell. We got a few more games. I'm
True.
sure something else is going to come out. But we'll leave that a mystery. We'll let it transpire naturally.
John, what do you think? What are we missing here, dude?
I mean, I was born 2000, so you guys are probably in a different decade than I am.
Yeah,
so,
we're old. Thanks for the reminder, dude.
Well, no, High School Musical, man. Zac Efron back in his prime days. Yes, it did the dance. I actually did High School Musical back in my high school days, and I played Zac Efron.
No way.
I was.
That's awesome. Got to get your head in the game.
That was my favorite one right there. That had in the game ones. And we're going to go into a timeout. But one thing I wanted to mention was that a 76-yard run that Davidson had in the game against University of St. Francis, that drive went to waste. It's kind of like how everything ended up with this one. The fact that they stopped going from the run game and they tried to do back to the air with Osmond and everything just didn't work out.
I mean, this is one of those games, right? You don't mean to belabor the point, but if you look at the raw numbers after this game, if you've just watched the game and there was no score bug on the screen, it does not feel like a 24-10 Concordia eventual victory. We'll see what happens here, but the odds are against Lawrence Tech. So if you're that coaching staff, you're going to watch this game, you're going to simmer on this game and go, man, this was a thing we can take a lot of positives away from, but at the end of the day, a loss is a loss, and it's just really going to hurt.
Yeah, and those two touchdowns, they're the difference. They started like within their own 10-yard line, just due to a blocked punt and due to a turnover.
Gorgeously called screenplay. That effectively will end it. James Carpenter gets the first down, and Concordia about to move to 5-0. And I think, guys, what we learned about Concordia tonight, they'll be the first to tell us. They did not execute anything like what they would want to tonight. But they get the win. They come on the road against a Lawrence Tech team that needs a win in a worse way. You know this, Grant. Sign of a good ball club. You don't play all that well and you still win by a couple of scores. That means you're a pretty good team.
Yeah, and you can learn some things from tonight. They're coming off that big win last week versus Wayne State. So there tends to be some fall off after a big win, and then you're overlooking your next opponent. So they came out flat, but they stayed on the course and they dominated throughout the game. And there's some penalties mixed in there. But nonetheless, they stuck it through, and that's what true winners do, and they find a way to win.
Concordia will only snap it one more time. That's a pumped-up sideline over there. Up to 5-0. A program that in its first 2 years of existence just wanted to win a game. And they haven't had a losing season now since 2017. Coach Joshua Schumacher doing an awesome job. Avant Mitchell has great success and great respect for the success that those guys in white, black, and red are building. On the road, tough environment, not their best execution. They win again. And a frustrating night for Lawrence Tech filled with penalties and mental miscues. That's your ball game. Concordia beats Lawrence Tech 24-10. Boys, before we get out of here, any final thoughts? John, we start with you.
Well, definitely. It's just a lot to learn. I mean, they came out with so much energy, but then everything just went off. I mean, and off in the worst way possible. Just too many miscues. And again, Avant Mitchell was forced to call his timeouts for his defense rather than saving them later on for his offense when it was needed the most. So timing was just not on their side. And then when they had the momentum going, they didn't stick to what was working best for them. And then the drives just went to waste. And we saw it especially on that last drive.
Yeah, just like you said, and both of these teams are going to come out of this game with a little bit of sour taste in their mouth, especially if you're Lawrence Tech. But there also is some bright spots to this. You saw your offense being able to move the ball on some drives, right? And you come out, you have a great first drive to start the game. You get on the scoreboard first. There are some takeaways from this game. Concordia probably wanted to have a better start and a better finish, but they came out on top. And Lawrence Tech, they fought the best way through this one.
That does it for us. For John, Grant, John, and Liz on the sidelines, and another John and Chuck behind the scenes. Evan Stockton saying thanks for joining us, however you were, whether it be online or on TV 20 here in Detroit. Congratulations, Concordia. You're 5-0, and your excellent season continues with another win on a chilly early October night in Metro Detroit. Thanks for watching. Go have a great rest of your Saturday night and rest of your weekend.
This Lawrence Tech Athletics broadcast is brought to you by Chevy. Your Metro Detroit Chevy dealers are proud to be the automotive sponsor of LTU Athletics. Chevy drives the Motor City. Henry Ford Sports Medicine treats the whole athlete. To make an appointment, visit henryford.com/athletes. And Michigan First Credit Union. Michigan First offers a full range of financial products and services, including checking accounts, mobile deposits, student loans, and car loans. Visit michiganfirst.com for details.